Hello, 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 hello.
Hi.
Joe, I think we've been talking about what we're going to talk about whilst all of us have been just unmuted. So, what we're going to talk about, guys, is so much we've missed. Hello, everyone. This is the GRcade Twitchcast. I think it's the 32nd episode. Tonight, we have on the show Corazon de Leon.
Hello.
And also, one of the most grumpiest people I've ever met, Victor Mildew.
Good evening.
He once picked up a cat and thought it was a telephone. Unlike Victor Mildew, who did it with a dog. Wait, picked up a dog, not did it with a dog. Shut up.
I have had nights out in Bristol, so you're not far off.
I'm Pedz, as you probably know, because, you know. Anyway, we're gonna. I think we'll start with then the most recent of news, because we're so far behind. If we start with the recent stuff, we can work our way back a bit. The most recent news I can think of is obviously the Microsoft, aka Xbox Studios stuff, now buying Zenimax, I believe it's called, which owns Bethesda. So it seems that the deal was $7.5 billion, and now Microsoft owns, well, Zenimax, Bethesda, id Software, or some people call it ID because people are foolish, and they also own like Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom. They own a lot of stuff from that deal. Would you say that it was worth it though?
I'm just looking at the list of IPs that Bethesda own.
Oh, there's a few. There's obviously Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein, or Dishonored. I'm not sure about Prey.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they own the IP, but certainly they were the last publisher of Prey. They also seem to have the publishing rights to the Star Trek series.
All right.
That's big as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's something that they still do. I think it's probably a good deal. If they're gonna make the big franchises, the Elder Scrolls and stuff like that, like console exclusive, I think it's a good deal, because I think it brings a couple of massive exclusive IPs to Microsoft.
Yeah.
But $7.5 billion is enough money to make me wet myself. I think it's eye-watering amounts of cash.
That's an inconceivable amount of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it sort of it really shows that what gaming is as a thing now, that the wider media still refuses to acknowledge that it's just this. I mean, that's probably more money than some film studios are worth, isn't it?
Somebody told me that Sony's entire gaming division is worth something like 2.89 billion. So that kind of tells you the level that Microsoft are operating at. If that's true, that might be a lot of bollocks. But
I'm sure I saw something that they paid that between like something like 2013 and 2019. PlayStation had like 8 billion profit or something like that.
Yeah, the operating cash. So yeah, it's basically the cost of Sony.
Yeah, so like, you know, this is not much less than that.
6 years worth of profit.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I forgot about once. There's obviously Arcane Studios, but one thing I forgot about is the Evil Within franchise.
Yeah, that's quite a big one.
Yeah. Which is basically from what I remember, it's a bit more of a weird take on Resi.
Yeah, it's Shinji Mikami, isn't it? It's the same guy that created Resident Evil. I've never actually played an Evil Within, but everyone I know who's played them say that they're really, really good games.
Yeah, same here.
There hasn't been one out for a couple of years, but I think the time is probably right for a new one.
Yeah, it's not been too long since the last one. It was a couple of years back, wasn't it? 2-3 years.
And it's 2017, I think, and it's probably just about the right time of getting you one out, and if that's going to be Xbox One exclusive, Xbox Series X exclusive, that would be a pretty big draw for me at least.
I do wonder though, because obviously, like, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, massive franchises. Are they going to? Do you think they're going to go? Well, we'll release Game Pass on wherever is willing to have Game Pass, and then they'll put it on Game Pass so it'd be available on like the PlayStation if people are willing to. If Sony were willing to have it on there, or do you think they will allow it for a reasonable price to be multi-platform, so they could then also rake in the money that way? Or do you think they would be like, let's keep it for our own systems, fuck everyone else, maybe we'll sell more platforms?
It's a very interesting one because you've got to think that the PlayStation market's big enough that they wouldn't want to ignore that. But by the same hand, as you say, like, it would be good if they could just kind of say, well, fuck you, Sony, we are going to take Fallout and we are going to take Elder Scrolls and keep them away from you and devalue your console that way. The other thing is that they've got a big like futuristic RPG coming as well, Starfield or something.
Starfield, yeah.
I'd forgotten all about that one.
Which I was reading that up until about a week or so ago, there were talks with Bethesda or Zenimax, I'm not sure which one, with Sony about having like timed exclusivity or something like that.
Yeah,
so
they're trying to go for a year's. Well, it's only hearsay, isn't it? But like a year's console exclusivity. I mean, I can fully see Microsoft, not out of spite, but because it's their right. Really, it's just right. Get this, everything's on Game Pass day one from these IPs, and they're exclusive to us for a year. I could see them doing, console and PC exclusive, and then the PlayStation gets it a year later, and you've got to pay 70 quid for it, or you can have it a year early on the Xbox for free, basically.
The thing is the way Microsoft are going, if they release it, say, on the PlayStation 5 as well, and they'll be getting money from those sales, could that possibly gain them more money from software sales than console sales? Because if you, because that's what they probably need to weigh up. It's like, we could make more money on consoles, or we could make more money on the software itself.
So it almost subsidizes, doesn't it? Almost subsidizes the kind of the Game Pass nature of the Xbox Series X, because you can have it come out on Game Pass and not lose any money then if it comes out on PS5 and retails at full price.
Exactly. The issue is it's like, obviously if they own the stuff, then potentially they are going to keep it exclusive, and that is the most likely outcome for the games, because it's their stuff. You don't see a lot of Microsoft owned stuff on other consoles. Fair enough, you have Minecraft, but that was already out on other platforms.
Yeah.
Though there is, I think Ori and the Blind Forest and Will o' the Wisp is on and coming to Switch.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Ori and the Blind Forest is on Switch. With Will o' the Wisp, the newest one, is coming to Switch soon. It was recently announced in one of those Nintendo Partner Directs, I think. I think they are Microsoft-owned games, so it's not like they won't do it. But with a smaller game, it's kind of a different prospect to a big, massive seller, because that could entice people to be like, well, I want the console. I want Game Pass and a good PC,
Ori doesn't quite compare with Fallout or anything like that, I suppose, does it?
In the grand scheme of things and market share and whatever.
Yeah.
Like Minecraft, I mean, I'd imagine it's predominantly like a school age and younger audience, and kids don't give a shit what it's on. They'll play it on mobiles. They'll play it on their fridge if they could. So it's not really in their interest to lock it off to something. But like you say, something for the slightly older, for the sort of maybe early teenager upwards, having their new Elder Scrolls or Fallout locked to something would be a big deal.
Yeah.
The issue is there are people who, whatever you have the people who are basically, I'm not buying a Microsoft console. I don't care if I lose a lot of games I love, I'm still not going for that. And it's just like, just cutting off your nose to spite your face. And I would say
I've
the
never
same for the other
understood.
round. My personal feeling is all the consoles tend to have the good things and the bad things about them. If anything, and you can afford it, get them all.
Yeah, I don't
Brand
understand
loyalty is fucking weird.
I don't understand the concept of it. Like when I was 13, 14, I used to be kind of diehard Nintendo, and then I kind of realised that, well, every console has its own IPs and brands and stuff like that. Why would I limit myself to one? And that seems daft. I don't understand that fanboy console war mentality in adults. It
weird,
frightens me a little bit.
I get her in kids because kids compete with everything, but adults,
Yeah.
it's like it's a corporation. They don't give a shit about you. They just care about what money you give them. They just who cares?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just buy the stuff you like, man.
Yep.
You know.
No need to argue the toss about which one has the best CPU or whatever. There's me showing my knowledge of tech.
Well,
there.
the thing is I can understand if you were to buy, if you were to play mainly multi-platform titles only. I can understand why you would want to go for the better performing console, the one with the highest read speeds for disk drive, which is more or less of an issue now. But say like the fastest SSD or slightly better CPU and GPU and so on and so forth. I kind of get that, like, but after like the console generation's around for like 7 years by now, I'm pretty sure like you could probably get both consoles in that time if you wanted to play the exclusives. But for if you were to play multi-platform titles only, I can understand why you would go for the slightly smoother experience. But a lot of people tend to go, well, all my friends have got that console. I want to play online with my friends. I'll get that console. Which is also understandable, really, because if you want to actually play with people you like speaking to, buy a different console.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough, but that's not the same thing as like I'm not buying a Microsoft console. I'll never buy a Microsoft console.
Yeah,
that kind
that's
of
just
thing.
weird. Yeah.
That's more just kind of going along with, or like making sure that you've got the equipment that other people have.
Exactly. Yeah. What's Victor's thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, it's like going back to like the sort of school mentality is when you had to rely on your parents to buy you things, and I'm pretty sure I've said this on the forum before. It's like you kind of you talk your parents into buying you something, and the last thing you want to do is have them question that you've bought the wrong thing or something. So I've got a Mega Drive, so bollocks to the Nintendo lot and stuff. But as you get older, it's like, I remember when I used to swap consoles with my mates and play Nintendo games, and like after being all fanboy and stuff, it's like, Christ, why would I deny myself this stuff? It's like now, it's like, I want all the new consoles. It's just they're expensive things, and there's nothing I particularly fancy right now on each one. Why deny yourself these things?
I'm reading between the lines there, and I'm thinking that Victor here borrowed a Super Nintendo Entertainment System off a friend, played A Link to the Past, and realised that it was the best game ever, and never looked back.
That was one of them.
Nah, fair enough.
Also, I remember asking my dad if I could sell my 32X, which I'd basically cried in a shop for him to buy me. And I said, "Can I sell it to buy a Super Nintendo?" He's like, "No."
He said, "Are you kidding me?"
You mean the thing that you made a scene in Curry's and made me get all 3 launch titles? You want to get rid of that thing? You want to get rid of that? Yeah.
No, you'll be keeping that. You'll be keeping that forevermore.
No.
You could sell it when I sell the fridge. I don't like the fridge. But yeah, it's a strange mentality, and I think the thing is though, right, is like with that mentality, it's like I won't buy the Xbox console to play these games. I've noticed like the people would still buy the game if it was on the platform of choice, even though it would still be owned by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Isn't that
bizarre,
a bit on the
isn't it?
hypocritical side?
Yeah, it's like say I don't know, say a new Portal came out and it was only coming out on the PlayStation, and you get people going, I didn't really care about that anyway. God, that game's from 10 years ago. Gaming's moved on. And then it'll be like 6 months later, it's coming out on the game thingy. Like, oh, well, it's actually really good.
Yeah, no, I completely get what you're saying. It's very strange. Gamers are very fickle.
We truly are.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll try anything. Don't like Dark Souls though. Shit.
Always comes back to Dark
Dangerous.
Souls.
It does, yeah. No, but it does look like they've got a bunch of good IPs, and the thing is, they've got some good studios. One thing that Microsoft need to do with Bethesda is make them fucking make a new fucking engine for fucking Skyrim.
Oh no.
Jesus
my God.
Christ.
Also, while we're on that sort of subject, what I remember is that hopefully, I mean, I don't know what level of control they'll have over things, but hopefully it will encourage them to be a bit more experimental and say, Fallout is too an important IP to churn out shit like Fallout 76 again. You're not to do things like that with it. And like the new Elder Scrolls, I wouldn't care if they said, well, it's going to be another 10 years because we're making them start again, and they're damn well using this engine.
I'm not gonna lie. I would like it to be like, yo, Bethesda, you work on making an epic Elder Scrolls game. Obsidian, you work on an epic Fallout game.
Yes, please.
That's what I want to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they
can certainly do that now, can't they?
Yeah, they could. This is the thing, though, is what I heard about like companies saying about working under Microsoft since they've been taken over by them, is they've just let them carry on as normal. So they don't really have a lot of input and stuff, I don't think. They just let them crack on. So it means that you're still going to see the same creativity and ingenuity and what have you throughout the games. The issue there is I want my Obsidian Fallout. Then again, we got Outer Worlds, which is close enough, kind of.
Yeah, it's really. I was so disappointed in that. Purely just you could just tell they didn't have the money to flesh out what they built a framework for a world, and
I
also
really
just
enjoyed
like
that.
someone going through and just crossing off buildings. Can't afford that. Can't afford that. Can't afford that. Can't afford that. Board that door up. This can have an identikit thing in. I mean, I enjoyed it, but when I started it and you start out on that planet, I just thought, oh Jesus, yes, here we go. This is everything I've dreamed of. I just never quite got there.
I've not finished it. I was playing through it. I named my Captain Grum, and I've named my I've like uploaded them all to YouTube, and I've called like the Adventures of Grum in the Outer Worlds, and so I've been playing through it, and I've been really enjoying it. There's some really good characters and then some writing and stuff. The gameplay is fine enough; it's not amazing, but it's a really enjoyable game. I could see what you're saying though, like maybe they wanted to do more but were unable to, but it's unfortunate. But if they do a second one, then maybe with the company behind them, they can do something a bit more far-fetched, more expanded, much more expanded upon, far-fetched.
Hopefully they can give them, just little things like put some more. Move some team members from another team across and say, well, okay, you've got, I don't know, say it's like 80 people you've now got 200 people and we're tripling your budget, so go off and make the game you want to make.
It would be cool.
I'm interested to see what this means for their FPS franchises, the Doom and the Wolfenstein.
Well, if it didn't, it is still going to be working on Machine Games. Yeah. Machine Head is a fucking band. Yeah. So I can't see him doing too much with them because, like, Doom is such a far different experience to something like Halo. I think they would just probably let him crack on, and hopefully, same with Wolfenstein, because I heard Wolfenstein New Order's good.
New Order's good, and then
New Order I really enjoyed. I heard New Colossus is good, but the other one is not very good. The new
The one that's set in the 80s.
No, I heard that one. Is it the one set in the 80s? The one with the sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that's
Yeah.
not very good.
I mean, it's sort of diminishing returns after a while. Like the first one's it was a really nice surprise. I think the second one's kind of like just expands on the first and is slightly worse, and then the third one I think is just too much of the same thing. I heard that about Doom, like the second Doom as well. Like it's as good as the original, but it's kind of too big in places. I never got the chance to buy it.
I've got it. I haven't played it. I've viewed off many people that it's like just as good as the first. I think Devlin said he didn't enjoy it as much, and I think I watched Consolvania, and I think it was Rab, and he's just like, yeah, I don't like it. Everything about the first game is not the same in this, and he didn't like it. But from
Really?
that's what I think he said on there. But I find Rab is a bit.
He does like a contrary
don't know.
opinion
He
sometimes.
does sound. Yeah, I just think he's very like he got a set, not a set standard of what he likes. He just seems to likes what he likes, you know. And it could be he's very random in his opinion sometimes, I find. Not that that's a bad thing. If you like lots of different shit, you know. I love Consolvania. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Strongly recommend.
Yeah, and my mic was muted a second. So to be honest, I don't know, and until more stuff happens with this, I don't know what else is much to say because, like, they have a lot of studios under them now from that one hefty purchase, I will add, and they've got a lot of games under them, but like none of them. Elder Scrolls 6 is in the works. We know that. We know that Star, whatever it's called, is in the works. But beyond that, we know nothing. So we don't really know. Like, is Elder Scrolls 6 going to end up being a Microsoft exclusive, or is it going to be multi-platform? There are 2 games that are being published by Bethesda that are going to be on the PlayStation 5.
Which 2 are they?
Tokyo Ghostwire, the one with the ghost motorbike guy.
Oh yeah.
And that really cool looking game that I saw, which is about like a bounty hunter and another bounty hunter and
the one with the like locked in a cycle of eternal killing.
Yeah, it's like time. It's like a time thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it Time Assassin.
Deathloop, I think it's called, is it?
Deathloop, that's the one, yeah. See, I knew it was called Deathloop. That's what I was just about to say. Duck interrupted me. I forgot what it was called. But yeah, so there's going to be 2 Microsoft-owned games on the PlayStation 5 from the off because they've already got a contract. They can't just turn around and say, no, I don't think, so they have to do it.
Well, it's kind of like when like there were Sony published games on the SNES, even in the later years. Just because the agreements were obviously already in place, and I think I'm trying to think. Skyblazer was one of them, and I don't think that the purchase of ZeniMax comes into effect fully until the end of next year as well. So that's probably just to give them time to honour the rest of their commitments. With the PS5, there
was a tweet that was posted in the thread on GRcade.co.uk about from the fake Kaz account.
Kaz.
Yeah, the fake account. Like the guy stopped doing it for a while and then brought it back. See if I can see the tweet. But I genuinely thought it was really funny. Unfortunately, I can't remember where it is, so I'll have a quick look. But he says something along the lines of, I can't see it. Oh well, never mind. It was a funny tweet though. Basically, it was saying with Microsoft's publishing 2 games on the PlayStation 5. Here it is. Bethesda are publishing Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, meaning that Microsoft now have almost as many next-gen only PlayStation 5 console exclusives announced as we have. Because obviously, obviously this is a different topic, but when it comes to the PlayStation 5, obviously we talked about the games that were announced, and Spider-Man Miles Morales was one. The Wild West friggin' I don't know what it's called, Horizon Zero Dawn sequel. Lots of those games were shown and everyone was amazed, and they're going to be amazing on the PlayStation 5, but it turns out a lot of these games are actually on PlayStation 4 as well.
That's so disappointing. I know some people go, "Oh, what's your problem? It's great we all get to play them," but when a new console thing comes out, you want the games to blow you away, and just the thought that any part of those games has to have been made with a current gen console, which is based on like 10-year-old tech anyway, it's just so disappointing.
Yeah,
it's difficult, because as you say, you want the games to blow you away. You don't want to think that they're not optimized for the new hardware, because that kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? And I know they announced that Miles Morales is coming out on PS4, I think, didn't they?
it is, yeah.
Which was immensely disappointing for me.
Yeah, it is. The thing is I completely understand it. Weren't they gonna, if, say, the PlayStation 5 in the first 6 months sells 1 million consoles, that's a potential of 1 million Miles Morales sold. Whereas if they also open up for the PlayStation 4, that's a potential for another 100 million sales.
Yeah.
Or whatever they sold. I don't know exactly, I've just given an example. But the thing that I found really funny was on Twitter is people going, people on the Xbox, look, your games are crap. And it's like, well, they got to run on original Xbox One hardware because of the whole thing. And Phil Spencer said it won't be 2 years before you get proper X series games. And they would say, but look at this, like a Spider-Man and blah, blah, blah. And then it turns out a month later, they've shown then that they're actually going to be on the PlayStation 4 as well. I think it's just funny the way people are. I don't know why. I just love the way people are. It's just daft. It turns out that what they are saying, this isn't happening for us, is actually happening for them. For me,
suddenly it's okay.
It's okay, exactly, yeah. But one thing that I actually like the sound of with the Miles Morales on PlayStation 5 is if you get the special edition, you get a remastered version of Spider-Man from the PS4 on it.
Yeah, with all the DLC and everything in it as well.
I've played through it, but it'd be nicer to play it. It's 4K,
yeah, I would like to play
frames
it.
per second, and so on. But
optimized for PS5, and it's a nice bonus. But sorry,
I would just say with a quiet fan.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Yeah, I got a shot of it on my brother's PS4, and it tried to take off a few times when I was going through the game.
I can hear the whining, when I'm playing a PlayStation game and I'm playing a game with my kid upstairs, and we're on our headphones talking to each other, I can actually hear his PlayStation and the really loud whining of the fan, and he's playing the exact same game as me. But for some reason, it's just mental. So loud. This is worse than mine. This is a newer model. So there you go. So yeah, as we've moved off Zenimax into the Sony chat, even though I wasn't intending to,
it was a nice segue.
It was a nice segue, even though it wasn't intentional. I'll pretend it was intentional. I'll edit this out. With the, is there any games that you were particularly disappointed about being cross-gen then? Because don't get me wrong, Spider-Man looks fucking amazing considering it's also on the PlayStation 4 as well as the PS5.
It does. I think that kind of upsets me though, in a sense that if it looks that good being optimized for PS4 as well, how good could it have looked if they'd just made it purely for PS5?
That's exactly my thinking. But like I said, I didn't know until I read it on the forum that was the case. So while I was watching the footage, I was like, fuck me, that looks good. And because my wife loves playing Spider-Man as well, she's like, oh, that looks amazing. Should we get it? I was like, no, yeah, just hold off a bit and get some other stuff. But that looks fucking great. And then afterwards, then you read that and you think, oh, hang on a minute. Well, yeah, like you say, oh shit, what would that have looked like? The Horizon thing looks stunning. It's like, well, but wait a minute. If that's coming out on PS4, what could they have done?
You'll find out with Spider-Man 2. Unless
The
that's
power of a
cross-gen as well.
PS5 in the palm of my hand.
Very good.
I'm here all night.
What other games were announced as both? Like Demon Souls is PlayStation 5 and PC. Final Fantasy 16, which was recently announced as PlayStation 5 and PC.
Yep.
Horizon, what's it called? Something West?
I think it's Forbidden West.
Forbidden West. Yeah, I was thinking it couldn't be that because I thought the Frozen one was Forbidden. Frozen something. Forbidden Frozen Land. Yeah, so that is also going to be crossplay with the PS4. Not crossplay, but cross-gen with the PlayStation 4. And that looked bloody amazing as well. So, well, was the gameplay that was shown? I can't remember. I think it was just a CGI trailer.
That's the question, isn't it?
The thing is with Horizon, I have no doubt that it will look like that. I don't feel like they've ever bullshitted with any Horizon footage. It's always looked just jaw-dropping. So when you see that, I think I have no problem believing that it will look like that.
The question is, though, right, here you go. Here's the simplest of questions. The games you were seeing and you're like, damn, I wouldn't mind a PlayStation 5 to play them. Has this now made you think, well, I may as well just play them on the PlayStation 4 and delay getting the PlayStation 5 for another year? Is it like, sort of like, instead of you buying it day one, have you decided to leave it a little bit longer? Because you can still play the games on the PlayStation 4.
Sorry.
Carry on. Yeah, carry on.
I was going to say that's the question. Like for me, I'm not a day one. I'm not really a day one adopter of things. So I probably won't be getting either of them at the start. But I can definitely see a lot of people delaying it because they can still get games on the PS4 that would be available, or that wouldn't be available otherwise. I can see it definitely not denting sales. I don't think particularly, but certainly maybe putting a few people off.
The thing is, it's an expensive console as well, and yeah, I know you can get it for a bit cheaper if you go for digital only, but fuck digital only. And before anyone says, oh, blah, 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 at the end of the day, I would rather not remove the option, like, I would rather not remove choice. It means if I would say I pop into CX at random and see a really, really cheap game that you may not be able to get digitally anymore, I could then pick it up and play it in my disc-drived console. I couldn't do that with the discless one. If it's not on sale anymore, because they've taken it off the store. Just like they're doing with Super Mario 3D All-Stars in
I don't
March.
like this discless thing.
No.
Nope.
I really don't like it. I think that, like, you see the kind of thing with the example that comes into my mind, weirdly enough, is the Ultimate Alliance games. They were brought back for Xbox One and then for I assume rights reasons taken off the market a couple of years later, so you can't get them now. But you can still get the disc versions on the Xbox 360. I would be gutted personally if I couldn't get that, if there were no option for me to get that, if I missed that time frame.
Drive Club's the same. I mean, I know most of the bulk of that content was added post launch through like a hefty amount of DLC, but it's gone. It's completely gone now. But you could still, you know, if I was recommending that to you and you go, shit, I missed out on that, I really like the look of it, you could still go down to a secondhand game shop, find that game and still play it. Whereas if you've gone digital only, that's it. You'll never play in that.
Yeah. It's like importing songs through from a Rock Band game. That's the other example that weirdly comes into my head. Like I missed out on Lego Rock Band coming through, and I can never play those 40 songs except on that original disc now. I don't know why that came into my head, but it did.
Yeah, I think I've got Rock Band 3 imported to Rock Band 4, but nothing else.
Yeah, and now you can't.
Happy.
I think you've missed out now.
Yeah.
Well, that's on that subject. Yeah, that's interesting because when I got Rock Band 4, I'd never bought any Rock Band because we were more of a Guitar Hero. When I met my wife, she was well into Guitar Hero, so we kind of she already had that, so we just played
Disgusting.
Guitar Hero whenever it came out. So when we got Rock Band, and I got all the stuff through work, um, I was like, oh shit, I've got like 20 songs on this and I don't like half of them. So we went back on the PS3 and actually bought the older stuff, which you could still import. So I just sourced, like, I think it was the AC/DC one,
Mhm.
Rock Band 3, which I borrowed off a mate. There's a couple of other ones I bought. The Lego you couldn't do. That was one
Yeah.
of them. Like Green Day, you could download the license to get it, but
Yeah, it would have been right at the end of the period as well.
yeah, so there's a few you do, like Beatles, forget it. So I still got I had the actual Beatles one on disc, but
Yeah.
yeah, Beatles you could forget it. But I was able to then go back, source some discs from wherever it was, buy the license to transfer them, and suddenly I had like 200 brilliant songs on it. You just couldn't do that now, could you?
Yeah, no, and that's the idea, especially for a game series like that. Like, if you can't have a large library, there's no point. And if that kind of thing's going to become more difficult going forward, then I am absolutely not for it.
So
Um,
the main point was there was like, do you think a lot of people are like yourselves? Do you think you're gonna get it day one, knowing that like you can get the digital edition, you can get the disc
Mm,
drive edition, which obviously opens up more options for purchasing games that may become unlicensed or whatever. But the main thing is are you going to be willing to spend £450? Are the masses going to be willing to spend £450 to play the Spider-Man with Miles Morales in it when they've already got a console that they can just spend 40 quid on a disc? Especially
yeah,
when you consider games are going to be 70 quid, 80 quid.
uh,
Something
when
stupid like
we
that.
And well, going back to your disc thing, if you buy a disc one, I'd be willing to bet that if you waited long enough, those games would be available considerably cheaper on disc. Not for a while, because look at things like 4K Blu-ray, they've still got a bit of price on, but after a while, you're going to be able to somehow, maybe someone sells it cheaper on the forum, or you just see one secondhand somewhere a little bit cheaper,
yeah,
or you could trade something against one in a shop. You know, you're going to be able to get that considerably cheaper. It's like when I was reading about when I saw on the forum about the games on PS4, when I told my wife about it, because we're all over like getting Horizon stuff, she said, "Well, we're waiting for the console." I said, "Exactly." So to me, I'd rather wait now and know that rather know I'm not playing a inferior version. I'd rather wait and treat myself to a really spanking PS5 version.
that's fair enough. I come at it from a slightly poorer point of view, in which I probably won't have 450 quid to blow on it. So for me, that having the games available puts that purchase off further. It puts it further into next year, because I know that I can just go down the shop, or if I had a PS4, which I don't, I could just go down the shop and get Miles Morales and have a good enough experience that way for a while. So I guess it's kind of, it's just, yeah, that's just my weird kind of take on it.
Well, also, I mean, there's the other side of it is that if you're willing, if you're perfectly happy to do that, you're not actually getting, and if you don't ever play the other one, it's no different to you, is it? If you never play the PS5 one and go, if you say in like 2 years you play it
Yeah,
again and go, shit, I wish I'd waited for this. Like with Breath of the Wild, I bought the Wii U one because I'm not getting a Switch yet, so I bought it on the Wii U and loved it. And then when I went back on the Switch, it wasn't like I wish I'd waited, but there was bits in it where I thought, God, this ran like crap on the Wii U.
yeah.
I did it
To
spoiled
be
that bit
fair,
because it was
with
nice.
Breath of the Wild, it ran like crap on the Switch.
I don't think did you play the Wii U version?
I didn't. I played the Switch version on launch,
So I
and
I've
think
not had a problem with it
they
on
were
I
Switch.
think the
they
Switch
were
is lovely.
they were honestly times I was playing the game and the game would lock up for like 5 seconds.
Maybe it got patched after. I mean, it
It
must have
might,
done. 'Cause
yeah, it
I've
did have
never had any
stability
problems.
patches,
Yeah.
but when I especially in like snowy areas, I'm fighting moblins.
Right.
The game would just lock up. I remember it froze up before, and I was obviously streaming it. I was saying, guys, the game have just crashed. Then all of a sudden, I was almost dead from where the game had obviously the game had carried on without the actual anything happening. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like stuff had like the as if the game had carried on playing but couldn't show what was happening.
You like queued up your inputs almost.
Yeah, it's like everything was like, it's weird, man.
The Wii U version, it's a bit of a tangent, isn't it? But the Wii U version, like when you get the magnesis thing out, and the red wireframe thing goes over it. I know it cuts the frame rate on the Switch one, but the Wii U one, I mean, say it was running at like 30 frames a second, wherever you are, down to 10 instantly. Or if you go into any of the towns, like the first town you go to that you're guided to, I can't remember, is it Kakiro? Is that the one?
Kakariko.
That's the one. When you go there, I mean, its frame rate sub 10
Yeah,
easily.
it's definitely, from what I've heard, sounds worse on the Wii U compared to the Switch, but the Switch version wasn't great. If I could find exactly where some of those like bits were where the game had frozen up, I would show you them. But there's like at least 50 hours of footage I'd have to troll through, and I'm really lazy, so I'm not.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. With this, like, for me personally, I can't afford one at launch. Simple as. So I'm gonna have to wait. But at least if I really wanted to get Miles Morales or Horizon, I can and not feel like I'm missing out. If I don't get them straight away because I'm playing other stuff, then I'm fine with that and playing them when I do get a PS5, because clearly I wasn't in that much of a rush to play them over other things anyway.
Yeah.
So there you go. I will
Fair
be jealous,
enough.
but like, damn you on your PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I'll get the FOMO in about December and then start petitioning the wife to release the funds to me. But we'll wait.
Is there any
I can
particular
hear her shouting in the
particular
background,
game
yeah.
she really likes that you could say, oh look, that's coming to the PlayStation 5?
No, unless The Sims 5 comes out on it or something like that, I think I'm goosed.
Tell her it's coming. Lie.
Just lie through my teeth.
The one game that I want, which was coming to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X series that I've seen, I don't know exactly what it is, in the sense of if it's like the first two games or just one of the games but revamped, is Overcooked. Like Overcooked Fully Cooked or something.
All right.
And it's for PlayStation 5 and Xbox X, or X and S series exclusive. So I'm like, and I think it's coming out launch time, so I'm like, I want that now. Fuck. Like I said, I think I can't remember who I was talking to, but the other day, but I've put in like over 100 hours into those games. I love them.
Yeah,
They're
that
awesome.
was me you were talking to.
Great fun. If you don't mind arguing with your missus constantly.
Yeah, we had to abandon the first one for that very reason. It's the one, it really hit ahead when you hit the levels where you're on a motorway on a overhead on a truck or something, and then the truck splits.
And you
in
have to
half.
run back and forth the trucks and stuff.
Fucking
Yeah. I tell you
went
what,
from
the second game makes things a little bit easier, because there's certain parts where you're like, all right, we need to get certain things over there ready to cook. And the good thing is you can throw raw food. So you can throw it over there ready,
nice.
so when you get over there, you can quickly start cooking it. You can't throw cooked food. You can't throw like plates or cups or bowls. But at least you can throw raw food or chopped food.
The thing that really got me
still-
was it's like the sort of hypocrisy you get in like multiplayer like that, where I'll be going, I need 2 lettuce, 3 tomato, and then I'm going to make these, and while you're doing it, do the washing up. And then like she'll be doing that, and I'll be going, oh, the washing up needs done. You need to stay on top of the washing up. And then it'll be my turn. I'll be like, yeah, I haven't done the washing up, and they'll be like, no plates left, nothing. It's like, but when I do it, it's absolutely fine. And oh yeah, well I couldn't help it.
Yeah, no, me and the missus, we played through the first game and like we really enjoyed it. We played through the second game. I thought, damn, that was easier than the first game. And then we went back to the first game like a little while later, because we'd finished all of the second game. And we started it again on the Switch because we played through on the PC. And we 3-starred nearly every single level on our first turn. So I was like, it's just we just got good at the games. It's not that it's got easier.
Fair enough.
And in Overcooked 2, once you finish the game, every level gets an extra star, so there's 4 stars instead of 3.
All right.
And it's like 200 for a 1 star, 300 for a second star. Your third star is probably like 450, just to make it slightly higher. And then your 4th star is like 1,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a much bigger leap. And we've got most of the 4 stars as well now, not all of them. There's one particular level in Overcooked 2 which I just can't stand. You're over like a pit of lava, and there's gears. Well, it's like a joystick. You have to move back and forth, and it's like the entire screen is the cooking area, and you've got to like someone move around to chopping boards in one corner, 2 items of food in each corner. It's just a pain in the ass. Don't like it.
What is the contrivance that had you setting up your kitchen over a pit of lava? Like, how does that come about?
Well, Gorons need feeding too. The only thing I can think of. Gotta feed those Gorons.
Well, I suppose.
Or they like
Just
rock
like
candy or something.
just cook some rocks and throw them out there. So we've got another order. It's not rocks again, is it? Yes, it's rocks again.
Going back to
Sorry, I went
think
a bit
I'm
off course there, didn't I? My bad.
just thinking about like buying for launch stuff. It's like I almost got caught up in the hype, but really getting the console itself isn't necessarily a problem for me. It's the I
Cost
always feel like I've got to
of games afterwards.
justify my purchase, and I have to really want it. You know, there's got to be something I really want to play on it, and nothing jumps out as being like, Christ, I'd love to play Demon's Souls, but I've played it before on the PlayStation 3, and I can quite happily wait however long it's, I'm not missing out per se. It's not like there's going to be a thriving multiplayer community for 3 months and then it's going to die on its ass. That's still going to, yeah, actually, yeah. Actually, saying that, there's when I played Demon's Souls, because I got it on Plus and never touched it for years and years and years and years and years, and then I eventually went to play it, and there was bugger all people playing it, and there was a really cool boss on there. I don't know if you know about this one. I can't remember what it's called, but later on in the game, there's a boss you come to, and it's quite easy, nothing too big. And I read up on it afterwards. I was like, okay, let's see if I missed anything. I read on the boss, and originally, what it would do is it would pull a player in to control the boss. So that boss would always be controlled by a person. So they could be either crap, or you could be fighting a bloody hard, someone who's really, really good
That's
at it.
really cool, actually.
That's
Yeah.
such a cool idea.
I do like that.
See, that's the thing though with Demon's Souls is it didn't really take off, did it? It had a little niche, like a little gathering, like it was like a cult classic then in terms of nicheness, I guess. I don't fucking know, but like it was Dark Souls then that really, because it was multi-platform, and obviously word of mouth from Demon's Souls kind of spread, and then from there it kind of Dark Souls kind of exploded then, didn't it? I think that was probably the issue. Like Dark Souls, probably now you probably have some person playing it, as long as they've got their DS fix sorted on the PC version.
Things like I played Dark Souls first on my 360, and then after that I played. What did I play after? I think I might have played Blood. I definitely played another one, so it might have been Dark Souls 2. And I just randomly one day said, "Oh shit, yeah, I've got Demon's Souls. I might give that a go." I loved it. I preferred it to Dark Souls. I mean, it had its janky bits, but there were bits of it. It's just the level design was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just it. There's something. Every level was unique, but not in just it looks this. This is a lava level or this is a snow level. They just had such a unique atmosphere to them. There's like one of the levels, I think it's called the Shrine of Storms, and it's just set in this ruined area. It wasn't like a castle, but it was just like you were going through the floors of this ruined building, and every now and then you'd come out onto a big expanse of ground by this big sea, and it was set during a lightning storm, and there's giant manta rays just floating about up in the air, and it was so good.
Sounds good, to be fair. I've never played a Souls game.
I've played Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne. So I've played a few of those kind of games. They're not really for me. I always say, oh yeah, they shit. I can't stand them. But it's not that they shit and I can't stand them. It's that there's some really cool aspects. I like say the monster designs, the atmosphere of the game, the world design. I just find the gameplay itself boring. I don't like the slow trudging along thing. It's kind of just not for me.
Fair enough.
I don't know why. I just didn't get into it. Like I was enjoying it for a while, Dark Souls, I think I got like a pass. I think I rang the 2 bells, and then after I was just like, I'm just not enjoying this anymore, and I just knocked
It
her off.
does take a nosedive in level quality. There's Anna Londo, if that's how it's pronounced, where the big famous Orstein and Smaug. It's been so long, I can't
Oh, I
remember what
know
they're
what you
called.
mean.
But
Yeah, Mario and
the,
Luigi, as Matt
the big
calls them.
yeah, that's the usual. That's the point where, I mean, if the game wasn't hard enough until then, that's the point where most people are like, I'm out. This is ridiculous.
Jawa got
Well,
to there,
yeah, he did.
and
Good
then he
on him.
stopped playing the game.
I was gutted because he was doing once you've sort of broken the back of the first, like the bell gargoyles, they're normally the first big roadblock. Once you've
Yeah,
started broken the back of it and started going, you can normally, the confidence builds and I go, actually, this isn't so bad. Dying doesn't really matter unless you're doing it 40 times in a row or something. But yeah, that's normally the roadblock where people stop. But after that, it takes a bit of a nosedive. There's a few cool areas, but mostly it's very clear that it's just unfinished. I mean, there's one bit where it's like a lava-based level, and it's just a sea of lava with a shitty windy path through the middle, and there's enemies about which are literally the bottom half of a T-Rex, just legs, an arse, and a tail, with the top half of the model missing, and there's just like 50 of them. And if you aggro them, they just come up and stomp you. It's so crap.
I like those not legs and tail, legs and ass.
Yeah, it's if you took a T-Rex model and just from the hips upwards just flattened it off, that's what they're like. It's it's awful.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I like I said, there's a lot of things about the games that are pretty cool. It's just not my cup of tea. Like I would rather play something like Devil May Cry or Ben. I'd rather a faster paced game to that. So I know Breath of the Wild. A lot of people are like, yeah, they kind of took stuff, but it was also not as slow paced in my eyes, and also you could do a lot more variety in it. And also, I still think Breath of the Wild is not as good as several other of the 3D Zeldas because I'm not a massive open world fan. I find them. How do I say? I find them kind of boring after a while. It's just like aimless wandering, and after a while, it kind of gets boring for me. I'd rather kind of some linearity to stuff, so I have a feeling of progression.
That's why I miss things like the proper dungeons in a game like that, because I know it's not really what that game's about, but you sort of you get to have almost a break from the way the game is and use what you've learned in a more linear, streamlined thing. There's the 4 big labyrinths, but they really are just that, labyrinths. There's no dungeons, so to speak. Whereas in the things like Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, I mean, I know they're more linear, but the dungeons are very much like a hard line. Here we go now. I'm focused on this particular type of gameplay for a bit, and you really enjoy that bit, and then you go back to doing your exploring. Whereas on Breath of the Wild, the shrines that you find can often be done so quickly that it's not really much of a distraction.
No, I agree. We've talked about it a few times on here, and like I think like Janine will have gone into it quite well about how and Matt I think actually went into it quite well about how older Zelda games you would obviously where you're learning things along the way, you're picking up new items and going back and solving things. This game it doesn't have that because you can solve everything from the off. Because as soon as you get your items from Jim, then you've got everything you need and will ever need ever through the game, apart from your motorbike.
Oh, don't start me on that. So I tell you what really disappointed me with Breath of the Wild when I was playing it on the Wii U. I I mean, I know it's all about like switching up the weapons, and I don't mind the weapons breaking, but what I did mind was it almost seems like that was added in that wasn't there from the beginning of the game, because there's a bit near that first stable you led towards that's between you almost go through a crevasse between 2 big mountains. There's a little stable and there's a big waterfall, and I thought, all right, classic trope, let's see if there's anything behind this waterfall, and there wasn't. But I decided to start climbing up and see how high up I get, and there were little ledges, and I eventually got to this bit that was right tucked out of the way that you would never get to unless you'd thought to have wound your way up by climbing. And there's a little room behind this waterfall, and there's a chest in it, and I opened the chest, and there was a flame sword, and I hadn't had anything like that until that game. I'd had spears and sticks and stuff. I thought, oh wow, like that's a special item. Oh, brilliant! And then it broke, and it's like it'd be nice to, not things like Corex seeds where it's just crap to collect for the sake of it, but it'd be really nice if just every now and then there was something a bit more unique. And I think that's something that got fixed with the DLC, was where they added like suits of armor and unique stuff. It'd just be nice if there's a little bit more reward
Yeah,
for poking around a bit more, rather
yeah.
than
No,
just stuff you
I
could find everywhere.
I can see what you're saying as well, because I think it's been mentioned 2 times. Like, you see these encampments of like bokoblins and stuff, or bokoblins, and it's like, I could kill them and open that chest to get 20 rupees. I could just carry on going, and
Yeah.
most people just carry on going
Yeah, well, that's it
because
as
there's
well.
no
Then
real reward.
and people go, oh yeah, but the fun's in taking the camp out. It's like, well, yeah, maybe the first couple of times, like we see a lantern hanging up in the eye, and you think, well, if I cut the rope, what happens? And then it falls down and blows some barrels up. But when you go through quite a tough fight, especially later on, where the levels, those turn into silver and blue and quite tough enemies, and you get the chest and it's a silver rupee, it's like you just find yourself avoiding it, rather than like, oh, do you know what? Like in a game like Morrowind, where, well, I don't want to pass up this tomb because there could be a unique sword in it. I could be missing something amazing in here, like a ring of invisibility or a really cool staff or something. It'd be nice just to have that chance of finding something that you're going to treasure for the rest of the game.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying completely. It kind of it gives you this big open world to explore, but then never really gives you anything to never really rewards you for exploring with anything meaningful anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy the poking about bit like I'm playing it through for a second time. I'm hundreds of hours into it again, because I've purposely made sure I've gone different routes, and it's like a new game almost. But there still really isn't much to find apart from there's a Korok seed, or there's a really easy shrine, and that gets a bit dull after a while. It's like I'd really love to just see like a little ruined cave or something and go in there and just find some really cool item. I don't know what that would be, but just like, oh God, that's such a cool thing, and now I've got that to use for the
Shotgun.
rest of the game. Yeah.
So you can shoot things off you when you're on your motorbike. Anyway, where were we? Where we kind of wandered off onto Zelda?
Oh, I've lost the plot completely.
So I remember we were talking about the PlayStation 5 and having like a main game to buy straight away, and then also we were talking about Zelda.
That was my fault, because I said about having the inferior version and then waiting to buy it on something else, and then
Yeah,
it's reminding me of
yeah,
the Wii thing. So
yeah.
I do apologise. So by that
Perfectly
comparison,
fine. No, I'm not complaining. I like
for
going on
the
tangents. That's the whole point of this.
for the PS5, the equivalent being there is the Miles Morales, and there'll be this new Assassin's Creed will be cross-gen, and
Yeah.
Call of Duty, no doubt, for the
Honestly,
like,
I'm not a massive fan of Call of Duty, but I really enjoyed the last trailer with the little. It was like really fucking over the top with all the shit exploding and the
it was
cars and the
ridiculous,
little
wasn't it?
go kart. It was just genuinely a fun trailer. It's all there.
It's the way
Fair
it
enough.
should be, though, isn't it? That those things can really take themselves too seriously, considering it's the most unrealistic depiction of any sort of, not that I know, but there's no way in hell that any of that is remotely realistic. So why not just go mental with it and just have, you want it to be like an 8-hour like James Bond film or something, don't you? You don't want some boring crawling along the floor doing nothing.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with that, and I just thought it was genuinely fun. I also liked on Twitter someone put a tweet of like the plane getting away with the remote control car falling, going, "Damn, this remake for Toy Story is looking good." Because obviously in one of them, like in the second film, they chase a plane, and in the first one, they're on a car chasing a van, and they so yeah. It's all about Toy Story now, guys. But that's the thing, though. You were saying about like that, but you were also saying about like having a killer game that you want. Like that could have been Spider-Man, but is like now it's like, well, it's on this console. Is there any point buying it
Yeah.
at launch? Horizon and many. There are other games as well, which is PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 that are Sony games, but I can't remember them other than Spider-Man and Horizon.
There are a few, but there's nothing that really stood out to me as being kind of top tier potential.
There's Ratchet and Clank and the Sackboys crap 3D adventure.
Yeah, I know Sackboy's Adventure is going to be... Oh, Sackboy's Adventure looks fucking awesome. You might not like Little Big Planet, and that's fine. Sackboy's Adventure just looks like Super Mario 3D World with Sackboy instead of Mario. It looks awesome.
It looks really good, yeah. I can't get excited about the character of Sackboy. I like Little Big Planet, and I actually really like the games, but there's something about Sackboy that just I nothing him.
I like Sackboy. I always have.
The problem with him is that with Little Big Planet, I did love those games. The first one in particular was just
the first one's incredible.
So special. I mean, I'd love to be able to play that again now. I'd love to just put that on and play that through my wife and just have brilliant arguments. It'd be great. but Sackboy is a canvas for you in the game, isn't it? You dress him up and put all your little things on. And I got quite attached. I'm not into pirates or anything, but I made like a pirate Sackboy, and it just doesn't feel right playing a Little Big Planet without having my pirate Sackboy. Whereas if you take all that stuff off, it's like, I don't actually like the character. I like what you do with it.
I think that's the whole point of Sackboy, though, is it's meant to be like a kind of doll, a way to express yourself as a character in a game where creativity is the biggest part of the experience. You wouldn't want that with a normal person where you do kind of like Sackboy. I think suits him more. You could even run around as like fucking Solid Snake and stuff in Little Big Planet. Solid Sack. Wait, no. Well, they both are pretty bad. Solid Snake, Solid Sack. So bad.
Thanks for noticing.
There you go. Oh, yeah. So if we go from the PlayStation 5, right, and we hop across the pond the other way, we end up in America. And in America is Microsoft. And they obviously have the X series coming. They also, like Sony, have many games that can be cross-platform. One of the biggest titles that was supposed to be coming for launch, Halo Infinite, a lot of people gave a lot of shit to because of how it looked. It did look quite bad in comparison to, say, Miles Morales. But it's been pushed back as well now. The game itself. It has been pushed back to late next year. I think, well, definitely next year at some point.
Poor buggers. You got to feel for the people doing that because they'll have been given quite a long way out. They'll have probably been told a year in advance, on this day we are revealing, or round about this day, you need to have a gameplay demo done. And as that drew nearer and nearer, they'll have known damn well it wasn't ready to show. Microsoft will have been pushing them going, well, we are leading with this. And they've just got to the point where that's what they had and they had to do it. And then someone will have got such a kicking after that.
This is the thing. They said it was a very, like an earlier build. I don't know how much difference in visuals there would be depending on like how early a build it would be. Personally for me, like graphics are not a massive part of the experience. Obviously, I want my things to look nice, but I also like playing fucking like pixel art games and stuff. Like graphics are not a massive thing. As long as the gameplay is good and I enjoy playing the game, I'm happy. But to be honest, nothing in the game itself made me think, wow, this is an evolution. It didn't really look like it could, like anything on there was anything specifically like better than had come before it. My personal favorite Halo is Halo 3 anyway, and I think 4 and 5 were much worse than Halo 3. 4 specifically, I preferred 5 to 4, even though most people I think are the other way around because for some reason they got a hard on for Master Chief.
Yeah, I don't have a hard on for Master Chief.
Liar.
But I would say Halo 3 or I always get it mixed up with ODST. It's not Reach. Halo 3 or Reach, I think, are my kind of top tier Halo games. I think 4 and 5 I played a little bit of 4. I didn't bother with 5 because it just looked a bit grim.
Well,
Um,
I preferred
I'm
5 to
hoping
4.
this-
But
right.
That's me. Halo 3 ODST. I know you didn't mean that game, you meant Reach. I actually really enjoyed that game, so I liked it.
Yeah.
Because it actually was very different to the Halo games in the way it, like, in a lot of different aspects. And I liked that.
It's a great little add-on. Like it's obviously not meant as a kind of standalone massive like release, but using the Halo 3 engine and kind of adding to it and improving it and putting the firefight stuff in, I thought ODST was brilliant. And I think that's kind of like Bungie kind of hit that high watermark with that series Halo 3 ODST Reach and then left. And 343 had to come in with 4 and 5 and kind of better on, you know, what was as close as Halo had come to perfection, and they never quite managed it. And I've not seen anything that reverses my opinion on that with the new game, but at the same time, I kind of agree with Ad. I think they've been kind of shafted a little bit by circumstance and the fact that probably for like the last 4 or 5 months before it was shown, their working situation is going to have been a complete chaos with the coronavirus stuff as well. So
Yeah.
it's a difficult situation they found themselves in. I'm glad it's been put back because it gives them the chance to.
The worst thing is though, is like,
improve
oh
it.
right, we're gonna make sure you have this gameplay demo ready in time. They may be thinking, well, it's not ready, and then it's like, no, we're showing it. Oh, we've shown it. Do you know what? I think maybe we should have pushed it back. It's like, well, we should. Maybe they should have done it in the first place.
Yep.
Before everyone was like fucking complaining about it. Because it wasn't the best reveal. It's Halo. Master Chief have now got what looks like a grapple beam. Get more and more like Samus every day.
Samus Chief.
Yeah.
Some of the best multiplayer games some of the best multiplayer times I've ever had were on Halo. Halo 2 with the Waking Limb guys and Halo 3 with guys from GR.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun on Halo 3 with people from GRcade.
I used to play with a couple of guys that don't really post so much anymore, Tierney, and RNL and Deception. A couple of other guys like that as well.
Yeah,
I used
Deception,
to play it a lot, and it was just a lot of fun.
Same with
4
Gears.
and 5.
I think
Gears
I
as
played
well.
a lot more Gears than I did Halo 3, to be fair. But there was also
I think
usually like full. There's always like 8 of us there to play. 4 and 4.
They came out around about the same time as well. Like Gears was late 2006, and then Halo was about this time in 2007. And Halo was just a lot of fun online, and I don't think they've ever recaptured that properly. Not for me, anyway.
No, well the thing is Halo 5 is meant to have a really good multiplayer. I've never really played it myself. Like I've played through the story because I thought, well, I'll just stream. I played through Halo 4. I thought I'll stream Halo 5 now it's out, and I haven't like really. I've only played through them like a couple of times, like once each, I think. Apart from Halo 3, which I played through multiple times with multiple people. A couple of times it was 2 of us. A couple of times it was 4 of us. And really enjoyed that. And I think the issue is with Microsoft, the perception of them is they only have a couple of big franchises. Even with all these new developers they've seemingly rounded up and captured. Now with all these new developers they've bought and stuff, people are still like, yeah, but Microsoft only have Halo and Gears and Forza, and it's like, well, they do have a lot more. Like Sea of Thieves
there's
is
plenty
a
in
fucking
there. It's just a
wonderful
question.
game.
What was, sorry?
Sea of Thieves, man, it is fucking great. It was
Still never played it.
It was bare bones as hell when it came out, and even now it's like a game I wouldn't want to play alone. But I've played it loads with Matt, with Graham, and a few other people, and every time I've had a good laugh playing it, except for when we spend 3 hours doing a load of treasure hunting, and then some dickhead comes along and blows us up and steals it all. I know it's the nature of the game, but I don't like it. Leave me alone.
That's a
Don't
rare
call me a
game,
liar.
isn't it, Sea of Thieves?
What's that, sorry?
It's a rare game, isn't it?
It's Ray, yeah. It's made by Ray. The next game is
nice
Everwild or something.
Yeah, I'm really not sure about that. Like, I've only seen a very brief trailer for it, but you know that way it looks so generic. It looks like Cameo, like reskinned Cameo, and that's obviously a 15-year-old
I like
thing.
Cameo though.
But I love Cameo. Cameo's brilliant, but I'm not sure it'll work 15 years down the line.
Maybe.
I hope so. I hope it does. But it's nice to hear that Rare were a bit, have gotten a bit closer to being back on form. With Sea of Thieves, because they went through a long period of not really doing too much.
They did avatars. How dare
Yeah,
you?
like they were kind of pushed out to doing avatars and stuff like that, and I don't really understand why.
I don't know. Obviously, people didn't like Grab by the Ghoulies and Cameo and Viva Pinata and Viva Pinata 2.
I think Viva Pinata's fine as a game. It's not like it's not really my kind of thing.
I'm not being funny. I think Viva Pinata is the best game they did on 360. I fucking loved it. I literally fucking put a long time. I think I might have fucking 1000G that game.
I got to about 780, and then the kind of requirements just got a bit niggly for me.
I really liked the game. I very much enjoyed Viva Pinata. Viva
I will
Pinata,
go back and finish it.
Filled with fun.
I need to play 2. Actually, it's the only Rare Replay game I've not started yet.
What was it? Trouble in Paradise or something? Isn't it?
Yeah, the Rare's best game on 360 for me was Nuts and Bolts.
I didn't really get into that. I'm not a massive Banjo fan either, so
it took me 3 or 4 tries. But see, when it clicked, it really clicked, and I must have put in, and it was only last Christmas there. And I must have put in about 50 hours in a week.
Sure.
And just blasted through the whole thing and all the DLC as well. Really, really strong game when you take the time to actually figure out what's happening with it.
It just weren't for me. I'm not a massive fan of Banjo Kazooie either. I've not played Tooie, but I played Kazooie, and it's alright.
Kazooie's better.
But I'm just like, how do I mute these fucking voices? I think I muted the voices. Yeah, I can't. I hate it. Animal Crossing isn't too bad, but that's so much worse.
Don't play. Did you play ukulele?
I did, yeah, and I had the same kind of feelings as I did with Banjo. I was like, But Impossible Lay looks really cool. That looks more up my alley than ukulele.
What does, sorry?
Ukulele Impossible Lay, the 2D
right.
one. That looks more up my alley than ukulele. Normal.
I still haven't had the chance to get a shot on ukulele. I'm kind of looking forward to eventually playing it.
Well, it's very much a Banjo game.
It's pretty, but I wouldn't pay too much for it. I enjoyed what I played when I stuck with it for a while. It's one of those things where the first level, you think, oh, great. The first level gives you that Banjo vibe that you're after, and you think, oh, brilliant, like old school collectathon. But I think it controls like shit.
Really?
I find it really frustrating. Mind you, I hated the way that Banjo Kazooie played, and people say it's brilliant. So, take that opinion with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
But
I was like Dark Souls with Banjo. I was enjoying it. Like I did like some levels. I remember doing the beach and with the pirate ship. I remember getting to a snow level, and then it just fell off the game. I was like, I don't like it anymore. It's boring. I can't cope with the stupid voices. Like that's old games should offer you turning down character voices and like leaving the music and sound effects in. So I could have done it with our game.
There's ukulele. I think I got to the point where there's a later level. It's like a casino thing, and it was awful. And the controls were just. I mean, we just get so wound up and just think, why am I playing this? Like, I'm not even enjoying it. I'm getting angry. I'm dying and losing like 20 minutes of progress at a time. It's such a shame because it started out. I mean, I could have, if the levels had been of the quality of the first one or two, all the way through, then you'd be, it's all right. I'm kind of enjoying this. You can put up with the little quirks, but yeah, the later stuff is just poor.
Yeah, I can't even remember how far I got into ukulele before I was just like, nah, it ain't for me. cool that they made a game that really does harken to an N64 game. Like a lot of games, like kind of do the style of older games, but they kind of don't get the gameplay right. And I think that game did get the gameplay right for a kind of Banjo-Kazooie alike. Considering it's a lot of the people who worked on Banjo-Kazooie. Like you look at Shovel Knight, and it's not quite the same as, say, I don't know, DuckTales. So I think of where people bounce. He bounces on a shovel. Scrooge McDuck bounces on his pole.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I never thought of that.
I meant to say
it's pretty
walking
the same
stick.
thing,
I didn't
isn't
mean his pole. Scrooge McDuck's got a
it?
rather
It's
large
very,
pole.
it's a very knob-themed Twitchcast tonight, Pedz.
Well, the theme is talking about the recent news, and that's what we're doing. But sometimes it's kind of brings up other games as a reference point.
Knob news.
Well, there you go. Anyone getting the Xbox X series or the S series, and which would you prefer if you want to get one, but you're not getting one
I will
yet?
eventually get a Series X. I think I've mentioned this and was speaking to Ad about it briefly as well. That I'm kind of locked into the Xbox because as long as Harmonix keep releasing Rock Band games, I need to stick with the console that has all my DLC on it because I'm not losing the investment.
Well, are they releasing any more games?
I mean, there's always. I think Rock Band 4 really did not sell very well, but there's always the chance that they will.
Well, they're making a new game. It's on the Switch, and it looks like some really shit game.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't even know what the fuck it is.
It didn't go up my alley at all. I wasn't
It's like,
a massive
you can
fan
do
of the
this
look
and
of
use emojis. What?
it. Twitch Sings. I downloaded Twitch Sings recently, and I think it's Harmonix that do that. That's quite good.
I thought it was Harmonix, but I'm not sure. But that's closing in January.
Oh, is it? Fuck.
Yeah, it was announced about a week or two ago. Going,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we're closing in January 1st.
Well, that's all right. I'll just stick with Rock Band for the moment.
I'm
but
gutted. I'm gonna make sure I do a final Twitch Things stream, and I'm gonna do DuckTales. And
yeah, I might do a
Gadget.
few Twitch Sings streams before January.
What's Twitch Sings? I've not heard of this.
Twitch Sings is basically a karaoke, but streaming live.
Yeah,
Basically
it's
like
the Rock Band
singing part of
It's
Rock Band.
Yeah,
And that's it.
But slightly worse and not quite as intuitive.
And also you can have parties, so you can have like
Yeah,
6
which
people
is
jump into a
actually
group and all
quite
sing
cool.
together. The duo thing is shit though. It's like, hey, let's do a duo. You sing you a half, and then someone else will be like, oh, that's a duo. I'll do it, and they stream or record their part of the part you've just recorded. It's like when I wanted to do it, me and Jeff were going to do it. For those who don't know, Jeff Yard, he's a guy. So me and him were going to do it.
Great.
He is great. Lovely guy.
He became my first subscriber yesterday.
No wonder you like him.
Yeah, lovely man.
He is. But like we were going to do duets on Twitch things, and he's like, oh, we'll give it a try. And it's like, wait, you can't do them together. We have to do one part, and then the other person has to record their part afterwards. No, that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to jump on and sing at the same time. But that didn't work, so there you go. But yeah, Twitch Things is not on the Xbox, so it's only on PC.
That's unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, like all kind of glibness aside, I will get an Xbox Series X. I'm not sure when. I don't think it will be in November. I think it will probably be early next year.
I know when I get mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
When
know
are you
exactly
getting yours?
when. I'll explain. I bought an Xbox One X, and I did it on the scheme where you get 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate with the Xbox One X. And after a certain amount of time, you can then switch your Xbox One X to an Xbox X Series and carry on the payments. So I'm just going to do that.
That's interesting.
It worked out if you got the Xbox One X through that scheme with 2 years Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
You also got like Forza Horizon 4 with like the Lego DLC and stuff, which is not part of Game Pass, the DLC and stuff. It works out that that stuff you get, even though you're paying for it on a monthly basis, works out cheaper than buying it outright at the time. Whereas normally you would buy it on like a monthly payment scheme, and it would cost more because of interest. But it worked out as like 30 quid cheaper or something. Not a massive saving.
That's interesting.
But it is a saving, and it's not
Very
all money in
interesting.
one go. Like, so after a certain amount of time, you can then upgrade to an X series, and I think I've got like another year left before I can do it. And then when
Fair
I can,
enough.
I will do it. Because why the fuck not? Even though I don't know where I'd fit it, because it's not going to fit under my TV unit.
It's a very strange shape.
Well, it basically looks like my PC's been cut in half. That's what it looks like.
Fair enough.
My PC's like a big rectangular box. Cut her in half. It's a rectangular.
I'm just trying to figure out.
cube.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with Cyberpunk, because I will get Cyberpunk on the Series X, but I don't know whether I want to hold off
Well,
and play it for the
Cyberpunk is a
first time on
game.
the X, or whether I want to.
See, the thing is with Cyberpunk, it
Just
sounds
get it.
like it's a game that, unlike a lot of other cross-platform games, it sounds like you can carry on your data when you upgrade it, I think. So, like, maybe you
That
could
is
start it, and if
interesting.
it's a massive game and you're just doing lots of stuff, not finishing the story, by the time you get your X series, you could then maybe carry on where you're going. Because the good thing about Microsoft stuff is cloud saves. It's like I can play Sea of Thieves on my PC now, and then jump on my Xbox in an hour and carry on from the same spot with all the same stuff. Like,
Interesting.
just depends on the games, and it depends on what is allowed and who is behind it. Like, a lot of that stuff is like Gears of War 4. Gears of War 4. I streamed that. I played it on the PC, streamed it for a bit, and then I thought, I'll just play it on the console because it's easier. It was back when it wouldn't capture with game capture, only desktop capture, which uses a hell of a lot more resources. For me at least, it wouldn't capture with game capture, so I stopped streaming it there and started streaming on the Xbox. So I done the first 2 chapters on that PC and then carried on the Xbox from chapter 3 onwards. And I will say with that game, chapters 1 and 2 are a bit meh, but chapter 3 onwards is really good.
Oh, fair enough.
I haven't played Gears of War 5. So there you go.
No, I've played 4, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will eventually go through to 5, but not
I think
in
the
the
thing
near
that
future.
bothered me was just everything was a fucking robot for the first 2 chapters or so.
Yeah, that was. It was really weird, and it got to the point where I was just like, hurry up and find your contrived way of getting the locusts back into this so I can shoot them.
Yeah.
And when they did, it was great, but before that, it was just a bit dull.
I do think though the I wasn't a massive fan of the human stuff with the robots, but I really liked the end. I think it was the end of chapter 2 with some weird fucking plane thing chasing him or something. That was really cool.
That was quite cool.
That was a good way to end off the human part of the saga.
Yeah.
And I don't mean they killed off all the humans.
They just killed every single one of them.
I'm Marcus Phoenix, and I'm the last man alive.
I'm just going to go downstairs, get a drink. So I'm just going to go downstairs and get a drink a minute. So I'll be back in 5.
All right, I was literally just about to ask you about the Xbox, but see what your thoughts were.
Probably gonna have to call it relatively soon.
Oh,
I won't be a minute.
Just because I've got another couple of things I need to sort out, and then I'm gonna put Resident Evil 4 on for a little bit, I think.
Don't worry about Res. We got Among Us, man. Among Us.
I need to take a break from Among Us.
You had a break yesterday.
I need another day.
Nah, you don't. Think about
I should, though.
What is more fun, Resident Evil or murdering me and blaming it on someone else?
But it's really hard to figure out.
What is more fun, murdering someone else and blaming it on me?
That is always fun, I must say.
Yeah, see, you know what you want to do. You know what you want to do.
I feel like it's a weekend game. Among Us Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, other things.
No.
That's me told.
Saturday, I'll be playing, I think I'll be playing Final Fantasy 14 with Jeff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a good game. Played it Saturday. I played it before I got level 30. There's a Thaumaturge or something, Thermal Turd, and that was fun.
I've never played it and could not tell you.
Good game. I like it. I enjoy MMOs. I kind of enjoyed that one. It's just playing on my own. Like, there you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
So out of the two, then, which you more likely to gonna get, the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox One X series?
I think it will be the Xbox. I think that I'm too ingrained now in the Xbox to not get one, but I will eventually get a PS5. My plan was always to get a PS4. It just never materialised.
Fair enough. Well, the thing is, with all the backwards compatibility that's going to happen with it, you'll be able to play all those old games. Oh, wait a second. We know what's happening with backwards compatibility, do we?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, if PlayStation Now still exists on there, then the bare minimum is you could be able to stream those games.
Yeah,
because even now you can stream like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2 games, I think, on the PC and on the PlayStation 4.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I've played. I was playing games of the week, just streaming, as you do. I was playing something and I said, "Oh look, guys!" and I jumped on PlayStation Now and put on one of the newest PUBG games. Look, guys, I'm playing PUBG! Yay! And it was crap. But that was being streamed to my PC from someone else's PlayStation 4, I guess.
Oh, that's quite cool.
But there's a good selection of games. But Game Pass, Game Pass on its own is good value for money. Just like PlayStation Now is good value for money. When you compare Game Pass Ultimate compared to PlayStation Now, there's a big gap in quality and quantity for your buck, so to speak, for your pounds. Because you've got PlayStation Now has got obviously PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4 games. You only stream PlayStation 3. You can download PlayStation 4. I don't know if it's all of them, but some of them you can definitely. And then I'm not sure about PlayStation 2. So you've got quite a lot of games there. But then with Ultimate, it includes your Xbox Live Gold. You get Game Pass on both the PC and the Xbox. You get it on your phones, so you can stream if you want to use your phone to do stuff. And then you've got you'll have obviously the next gen of consoles, and you've got EA Access included in it as well, starting soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, EA Access has been including Game Pass Ultimate starting. It might have already started. You should check.
That's interesting. Yeah, it'll stop me ever having to buy a FIFA game. I can just play them a year out of date.
It's not quite a year, is it? It's like 6 months to 9 months. It's
pretty
much a year.
Yeah,
it's pretty much a year, but not quite a year.
6 to 9 months. But I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm not a big player of those things anyway. So
I think NFL. I think NFL and stuff like that. I think basically FIFA goes up last. The other sports games got first. I've played NHL. Right. I think the last one I played was NFL 25. I was like, yeah, I understand football a bit more now. I know what I'm doing. And then I just get fucking sacked constantly. Or I throw the ball to the wrong person. They just get taken out straight away. I'm like, this game sucks. I have no fucking clue about fucking tactics.
Yeah. I have no idea how the whole thing works. Like, I enjoy watching football, but I'm terrible at understanding tactics. I'm just like, throw the ball at the man.
Press a button, see where it goes. Oh, they just intercepted it and scored. Damn.
Basically. While we're waiting on ad, I am going to take a quick second. Oh, good. Right, I'll be back in a second. Over.
Tag out.
Make sure you clap your hand to make it sound like you're actually tagging. Bastards.
You can't go anywhere.
No, I can't.
So you're talking about the Xbox One X. I don't know if the conversations have moved on from there. But
well, we would basically just talk about various things. But basically, I asked with the Xbox One X, was Cora going to be getting both? Was you going to get the Xbox One X or the PlayStation 5? Which one is first?
I will be buying the 5 first, whenever that may be, purely because I'm kind of bought into that sort I'm bought into that more than I'm bought into Xbox. But
Yeah, basically the opposite of Corazon.
yeah, and also I've got a pretty good PC, so if I really wanted to, I could play quite a lot of those games on my PC. But there's not to say that I wouldn't get an Xbox at some point. I mean, during the PS3 era, I had a PS3 and that was it. And then my wife bought me an Xbox 360 for Christmas, like as a surprise. I didn't know I was getting it. She bought me like an armful of games for it. And when I put that on, I mean, this is right at the end of its life as well. It's just like, why did I not get one of these sooner? Just like all this stuff I've missed out on. So and I was going to switch to Xbox One because I was so impressed with it, and then they did that whole terrible launch and it put me off it entirely.
Oh,
But
I'm not being funny. How can you not be excited about TV, sports, TV?
yeah, and just TV
Fucking
and
awful.
somebody pretending to get excited about a pre-recorded basketball shot being taken. Oh, it was awful. But that put me off. But I, I, I mean, yeah, I've got a PC. So, but then the convenience of just being sat downstairs. I mean, I definitely wouldn't say no to getting one. I wouldn't buy it in its current incarnation, the X. It won't fit in my unit for one.
Yeah, it won't
And
be mine. I'm gonna have to try and work something out there.
I mean, my Switch doesn't because it's only a narrow gap. I've got my PS4 Pro, a Blu-ray player, and my Skybox next to each other. There's no room for anything else
What do
in
you need a
there.
Blu-ray player for?
Came through the telly.
Yeah, but do you really need it?
It's a UHD one.
Oh, very nice.
PlayStation 5 doesn't do
Yeah.
Ultra HD. Right. Well, obviously,
PS5 does, but the PS4 doesn't.
no, it
And it
depends if
came
for
through with
discless
it
one or
too.
not, doesn't it? I'd love to see you shove a fucking disc in a discless Xbox, PlayStation 5. Get
Yeah.
in!
Come
Open
on,
up!
come on, you bastard. Yeah, so when my Switch is off to the side, but then that's the Switch, you have to take it out the top anyway because the thing. But it's not like I don't like the look of it. It just won't fit in my unit, and I don't want to have that just kind of kicking around to the side. And we all know that a skinnier, sexier looking one is going to be coming. It's like the PS5.
Well, you could always go for the S series.
Yeah, but I want the full fat one. This is the thing with me. It's like I did it with my PC. It's like, okay, what spec do I want? I want this, and it's going to cost me this much. And then as soon as it comes to order it, it's like, yeah, but if I spend twice as much, then I've got twice as good stuff, and then I never use it.
It's fair enough.
Plus the PS5's white, and I don't like white hardware, so I want a black one.
Well, that's a good point actually. Like the Xbox X series is black, the S series is white, and the PlayStation 5 is white. My consoles are all black. Or a black Xbox One, a black Xbox One X, a black PlayStation 4. Switch is technically black, but the Joy-Con are colourful.
I don't think I've had a white console since the Wii.
Yeah, actually, white Wii. And then again, white Wii. I did have a white GameCube as well, but my first GameCube was black.
Yeah, I've
Didn't
only
they-
ever had black
It's
GameCubes.
less
Didn't they
nicer.
get, a white GameCube?
Oh yeah, there were loads. There was a bright orange GameCube, a silver GameCube that said Resident Evil 4 on it.
I never saw a white one. When I got mine, there was black or purple, and I got a black one.
Yeah, when they
But
first came out,
yeah,
it was black and
I had
purple in
no
the
idea
UK.
that
But the white one came out later. I think it came out around the time of Mario Strikers because you could get Mario Strikers bundled in with it.
That rings a bell, actually.
And I traded her in, and I regret it to this day. I've only ever once traded in stuff, and it was a load of my GameCube stuff. Loads. It must be like
Pedz.
30 games, and even like after leaving the shop, I was like, "Why did I do that?"
What did you trade?
I can't remember. There's fucking loads.
Like, I'm just wondering if there was any like rare stuff in there that I can verbally slap you for trading in.
Oh, there probably was.
Like Ikaruga.
I never had that.
What else? Bat and Kaitos, Tales of Symphonia.
If they're not upstairs, then I traded them in.
I've got to duck off again and finish off the English tea, so I'll be coming up shortly with a nice cup of English tea for you, Pedz.
English tea.
Ooh.
I hope my disappointment was self-evident, but if it wasn't, there it is.
But yeah, so basically the question is, out of all the games, not the questions, a question is, out of all the games that have been shown on both PlayStation 5/4 and X Series /S Series /Xbox One X /Xbox One X /Xbox One, is there anything that's been shown recently that's really piqued your interest? Which one has piqued your interest the most, then?
I mean, it's Village. Village is the thing I am the most interested in out of everything that's been shown so far.
That could have just said Village with the Resi 8 logo, and they would have been the most interested in thing, because it's just such a fanboy.
For me, absolutely. I would just been like, "Oh, Resident Evil! I must have it." I think with all of the stuff that they've shown, like the werewolves and the what looks to be Peter Stormare's motion capture, among other things, and Chris Redfield shooting people indiscriminately, like I'm very, very interested to see how completely insane they're going to make a story that is already completely insane.
This is I've not played 7 a lot. But it seems to have kind of moved away from zombies now. But other territory.
I mean, there's only so long that you can really have zombies as the kind of main threat, because after a while people are gonna
I was gonna say kind of moved
like,
away in 4 really, with the Las Plagas, and then the
4 had the
5 and
Plagas,
6.
5 had the Ouroboros, I think it was. 6 was the C virus, and then 7 was a small child. So I'm looking forward to seeing what 8 does.
Slightly smaller child.
Like an angry virus toddler.
Zombie Warwick Davis. Like a really pissed off Wicket.
Oh, that would be brilliant. Funny. But yeah, I think that's the kind of system selling game for me. Whichever console does it best is kind of coming close to being my front runner for the next console generation. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There's a couple of things. I'm still interested in Halo. I know it looks guff, but I'm interested to see if they can turn it around. And
I think it plays really well and is improvement over 4 and 5. I don't think, like, for me, there wouldn't be a problem. Like, I didn't mind 5. I just didn't think it was as good as the previous Halos, bar 4, where I think it was better than 4. But like,
I think the story took a kicking, didn't it? The story took a bit of a critical kicking, and that's kind of put a lot of people off the game.
Yeah, well, the thing is I was never a massive fan of the Halo story anyway.
The lore's...
I think
the lore's not amazing.
Is something that, to appreciate a story in, you need to really get into the expanded universe. I can't be asked. But like Halo was quite simple. It's like, yeah, stop this thing from doing its thing. Halo 2 is, let's go and finish the fight, and then they didn't finish the fight. And then Halo 3 was finishing the fight, and then Halo 4 was everything comes back, and now I was going to say Prometheans, but that's a different game. They've come back and they're actually evil. It's all weird stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like the Halo lore. It's really just an chief suited up and shooting things, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's nothing
I think
spectacular.
I think maybe putting too much emphasis on story may be a bad thing, because Halo was always quite simplistic. Like, I guess if you looked at like some of the lore things in the background, like Control, there's a simple story there of a woman trying to find her brother, and there's some weird shit going on, and you're trying to deal with that whilst also finding your brother and help him.
Yeah.
But like, I haven't finished the game, but there is so much world building in like all the notes you find in the audio stuff, in the video stuff. It is so much. It makes nods to other games in that, like Alan Wake, for example. There's just so much in there if you're willing to look and if you care enough. But if you just want to play through the game, it's got quite a simplistic story that's easy enough to follow. For those who haven't played Control, the one thing that I recommend is make sure you find the TVs, for if you ever find the episodes of Threshold Kids. Fucking amazing. They're only like 2 minutes long, but they are so fucking creepy. It's a brilliant.
I've only heard of the name. And is Control good? I mean, what type of game is it?
Control, I'm enjoying myself playing it. I've been playing it like and recording stuff to do a video, maybe. But basically, it's a game where you kind of start gaining powers to like telekinesis and stuff like that, and basically you're fighting against like this otherworldly evil, but you're also while also trying to find your brother. And this house you're in is kind of like weird, and it kind of shifts a little. And you have to kind of like rid the evil, which is called the Hiss, from there. It's quite like I said, it's quite a simple story to it, but the gameplay and the game itself is actually very, very good from what I've played so far. Unless it takes a big nosedive nearer the end, then it's looking to be a very good game. And from what I've heard, the newest DLC, which is Alan Wake based, is supposed to be really fucking good with a hefty cliffhanger or something. Or like
So are they going to be
really
linking
ending.
it? Are they going to be linking everything in then properly to Alan Wake?
Well, it is. It's definitely linked to Alan Wake for the simple fact is, like one of the bands is in Alan Wake, is in the same game, and it's the same name. It's actually like
Right.
something of Asgard, Old Gods of Asgard, and that's made a band name for the like Alan Wake and that. It speaks about I think it speaks about the place Alan Wake is in at one point. And also, like I said, the latest DLC is Alan Wake focused. It literally, I think you actually go back to that kind of thing. It's
Right.
actually, it's definitely Alan Wake based, so it's all linked together. And so that's what I think I like about like some games. It's like it's got like this nice simplistic kind of story to it, and then you can like if you really want to look around, there is so much more you can discover, especially if it links into other things. Like I said, with Control, it links into like Alan Wake. I'm not sure about the other game they made though. The time control one.
Quantum Break.
Yeah, I don't know if that's linked into it at all.
I don't
haven't
think
seen
so.
anything, but Alan Wake definitely is.
Too much Aidan Gillen, not enough world building.
But yeah, it's good when games do that. So you can like, it means like you can follow along without having to concentrate too much on like plot points and stuff. Especially if it's an action-based game, which Control is, a lot of time you're shooting a lot of things or throwing corpses at things if you have your powers enough. Throwing corpses at things, and so you're like you haven't got a lot to concentrate on in that respect. But there's I don't know. I just like that way of doing it. Like BioShock. I now know a lot of people dislike the whole having to stop and listen to an audio tape. But I like that. It was a good way of world building without trying to complicate the story too much if you don't want it to be done. You can just ignore them and carry on.
And the BioShock one in particular, because quite often things would sneak up on you, or just the atmosphere. I mean, the atmosphere in that game was so good anyway. Just being stood in, say, like a ruined room, and you can hear people going, ah, in the background, and you think, oh shit, at any point, someone's going to come in and get me. And you're listening to an audio tape which is set in that room, and it's got all the atmosphere of what actually kicked off in that room, and it really adds to it really fleshes out the space you're in.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'd get it. I'm not saying you didn't get it, but you know, you give an example and you didn't, Cora.
I have no examples.
Fight, guys, fight. Is there anything that you are really looking forward to on the next gen consoles, Ad? Like, is there anything that really stands out? Like, obviously, Cora's a massive Resi lover, so that for him is his main draw. What about yourself?
I'll be definitely getting Ratchet and Clank. It's not a system seller for me, but I very much enjoy those games.
I was going to say one thing. There is Ratchet and Clank is probably one of the most impressive things I've seen in out of all the events.
It looks. It's got
amazing.
it's got that thing you can't quite put your foot on. Well, yes, put a foot on it. You can't quite. You can't
pedal. A bug.
Edit that bit out.
Spider.
You can't quite put your elbow on it. But it's where they just throw a few effects that you've not seen in. Just little things which go, oh shit, yeah, I've not seen something like this before. I mean, the gameplay, it probably looks about the same as it ever did, but it's got that feeling of, I know when I play that, I'm gonna have goosebumps of just like, oh yeah, my new machine. Nothing else really jumps out in like heart-stopping, holy shit, I just cannot wait for this, I have to have this. But I'll get a Gran Turismo and enjoy that for about 10 minutes and probably be bored of it. I'm more interested, strangely, as if I can put something like Drive Club on and play it still. Or I'm not letting that game go. I'm going to chain myself to the Drive Club radiator.
I enjoyed playing Drive Club on Sundays.
Still never had, like, there are so many games I've just not had the chance to play.
Drive Club
being
was
one of them.
Like I played I came to the party late on the Sundays, but when I did come along, like I was fucking awful at the game. I would regularly come last, get lapped. But after a couple of weeks of playing, I actually won some. Well, weeks. I say weeks, probably longer. Give it maybe 3 weeks. I was starting to win some races on the occasion, and that was quite nice because I'm bad at racing games. But like I just remember a lot of time, like I think it was Herbie mainly complaining about people ramming him to get around corners. But for me, that's how I go around corners in racing games. I didn't have to slow down. I'd turn, hit another car, and carry on going.
It didn't matter in that game. That was what was good about it. It wasn't like it encouraged it, but me being pretty handy at racing games, my experience wasn't spoilt being in the same game as somebody like Chalky and Herbie were basically just T-boning each other constantly, but it didn't spoil if that had been like a more serious racing game, that would have just been, this is crap. You just ruining this. What is the point in this? But it just didn't matter in that game. You could have 8 people playing it, and 2 of you would be bombing off around the front. Like me and Stew Dog would be trading paint the whole way around it, racing our asses off, and it'd be thrilling. It'd be so much fun, and we wouldn't even know. We'd be like 20 seconds ahead of everyone else, but we were having a whale of a time. Whereas you guys, maybe a little bit further back, were having just as much fun. But it wasn't. We weren't spoiling each other's game. It was we finished that race, and everyone would be that was brilliant for all different reasons.
Pretty sure, like most weeks as well, I'd start the race just to see. I think it must be Chalky or someone just reverse off the starting line back into someone pretty much every week.
I used to play Project Gotham with a couple of guys, and there was someone who would, like, this was Project Gotham 2 way back, and there was someone who would do that, and that was a pretty serious racing sim. Every single race that we were in, whoever started behind him would need to kind of know that it was him and swerve out of the way, because he would just reverse and try and ruin the race for them.
Bastards. Yeah.
I mean, Demon Souls. I mean, I keep forgetting about that. Demon Souls. Oh god, yeah. If someone on launch day went, "Oh, by the way, I've got you something," and put that in front of me, I'd eat my way through that packaging to get that thing playing. I'd be all over it. But it doesn't make me want to run out and buy the console. It's stupid, but there'll definitely be things.
If it was
on
Demon
both
Souls
consoles.
2, would that be a different story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably because I've played it. I mean, it looks stunning. I mean, it just looks absolutely fantastic.
It does
but
look
I have
amazing,
played it. But if it was like Bloodborne 2, if that came out on it, you better believe I'd be all over it. You wouldn't be able to stop me by 2 of them.
What would happen if Microsoft bought From Software?
I did say that jokingly on the forum. I wouldn't care.
It was whose post
So
I saw.
I'd just be like, oh well. I'll say, oh well, I'll just be buying it on a different console. I know some people would have an absolute paddy.
I'm trying to think exactly what kind of game I personally would like to. Like, I'm really looking forward to next gen, but there's nothing really that's
I
really
think
selling me
it's
on getting either of the consoles.
yeah, that's where I am, and
Honestly, the thing
it
selling me,
almost speaks quality of the actual games themselves. I think
yeah,
is that there's so much good stuff out there that it's not like maybe 2 or 3 generations ago where you'd have say there's a Metal Gear Solid coming out. How much of a big deal that would have been? It's like, oh my god, there's a Metal
none
Gear
for
Solid,
me.
you know. But something of that kind of size. Whereas
No, I
now
get what you're
there's
saying.
so much good stuff coming out
Yeah,
from all studios. It's
yeah.
like, well, it doesn't really matter when I get it because there's going to be something I want to play.
The thing that's selling me the most out of the two consoles is Game Pass, because it'd be cheaper for me to get an Xbox X Series and Game Pass than upgrading my PC right now. Because my PC has got like a 1070 in it
Same
and
here.
a 700K processor, I think, which I think is like good. But there's like the 380, 370, 380, 390 out now, and it's like I have to upgrade my stuff. And I need to upgrade my motherboard. I'll need to upgrade my CPU. I want to upgrade my GPU, and it's going to cost a fucking lot. Like the GPU alone is 600 quid.
I've got pretty much the same spec. I got a is it Strix or Strix, the Asus one. I've got a 1070 GTX.
I can't
I
remember what I guess.
I've got a i5 600, whatever that is, and I did have the foresight though to buy loads of. I got 32 gigs of really good RAM when I got this because I use it for my music and my video editing and stuff.
Yeah,
So I do use that. But like you say, I mean, it's primarily for VR, and I'd get a hell of a bump on it. I was thinking, well, I don't play many non-VR games on it, but to get a brand new thing would be like, it would be, God, it'd be amazing. So I thought, right, okay, let's get the same brand again card. Let's price this up. Okay, I'll need a new motherboard, and really, I need to get a new processor because it'll just be bottlenecking it. But I could keep the
yeah.
rest of it, and just the graphics card alone, £875.
Okay, now what one are you looking at?
It was the Asus. Is it either Strix or Strikes? I'm just looking for a direct swap, but a higher spec for what I've got. And it
Oh, was it
just
what
like
was it 380 like?
380. Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm only wondering because I thought they were like 600 quid, but obviously I think they'd be marked up more now because it's all fucking rare, ain't they?
I just looked at it. Well, okay then, and I need to buy a processor. How much the motherboard be? The motherboard would be about 200 quid, and then luckily I don't need to upgrade my power or anything because I got a 750 watt thing. What do you think? All in all, it probably cost me about 1,500 quid.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, I'm not playing my PC a great deal. I'm in a real Nintendo mood at the moment, so I'm not really
Speaking of,
playing my PC that much. And what is getting used, my wife's playing Civilization a lot. And when you see her playing games like that on it, it's like an oiled otter. It's just there's no performance hit whatsoever on it. You think, well, it's not really going to get
an oil doctor.
apart from playing
Never heard that term before. I like it.
apart from playing a few of my racing games, which I'm not playing that much at the moment. Do I really want to spend £1,500 to just go, that was cool? Really? I mean, that's like
Yeah.
a couple of next gen consoles, or maybe
No, I get what you're saying. The issue is like when these new consoles come out, it's gonna be like they're gonna be looking sweet, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, my PC could look even sweeter.
yeah.
Give me a new PC. But yeah, and the thing is looking at like I grabbed this motherboard, but I didn't realize when I bought it that this motherboard, like the processor is the best it can have in there. I sort of grabbed something that was a bit more future proof. Like it's fine for anything else. Just the motherboard is just the CPU itself is not upgradable in this motherboard.
I think I've actually tell her. I think if I wanted to go to, I think is it i9 is the latest Intel one. If I wanted to go to that, I'd have to get a new motherboard. But if I went to the highest spec i7, I think I wouldn't have to upgrade my motherboard. So I could do that. But then that's going back to my thing of, oh, I've got to get wherever the best thing is that I'll never use. So really be upgrading about half the PC and just think, Christ, it's such a lot of money.
Speaking of VR, you just mentioned VR. Have you got PlayStation VR?
Yes.
Was I sorry?
Yes.
You have. The reason why I'm asking is because I think it's today or something, or yesterday, Java posted in Discord. Minecraft is now in VR on the PlayStation 4.
Really?
Yeah.
I've played a PC hack of it in VR before, and I got unbelievably nauseous. But the performance, because it was somebody basically made it that way rather than it being that way, it was pretty gut wrenching because it was like flickering and the frame rate was just for Minecraft. The frame rate was just pathetic. But if you've not experienced Minecraft in VR and you have the means to, I highly recommend it. It's such an odd thing to be in that game world.
I want
To
to get
think
blown up by a creeper.
it's because it's so simple. Like when you actually stand in front of a Minecraft block, it's like a 3.5, 4 foot block. It's like, shit, that's really big. And then if you say you stood in front of a rock and you just bashed a head height corridor through it, once you move in there, it's like you really, really get a feeling of being boxed into something. It's really it's
Minecraft, the 2020's best horror game.
It's honestly when you when that feeling when you're poking into like a dark cave and you know that you can hear like
Yeah.
and like, oh god, where is it? When you turn around and see a zombie come at you, that fucking thing is next to you. It doesn't matter that it's like looks like a box of shreddies. It's just it's something that's next to you and coming for you. It's like, oh shit, you properly go ah. It really is. Yeah, you've got to try it.
Yeah. I'm gonna mod my Minecraft. Every zombie's a box of shreddies from now on.
Cross.
Another thing you mentioned is you're in a Nintendo mood. Yeah, what you said.
Yeah.
Is there any particular reason why you're in a Nintendo mood recently? Any specific
really.
games?
Well, specifically at the moment, I am playing Mario 3D All Stars. But before that, I bought a load of stuff when it was on sale for what would be considered cheap on the Switch. Because I had a load of credit. I traded some old PS4 games and so I had like 80 quid in store credit. So I just buy stuff up on the sale and sit there.
So you managed to get one
Dead Cell.
Switch game.
Yeah, I got half a Switch game. I got the first two levels of Pokemon.
Not bad levels.
But I was playing Dead Cells, and the more I was playing it, the more I was just playing through all this stuff I'd been buying, but just not touched. And it's like, Christ, this is such a good console. And now it's become my go-to morning thing because our flexi time at work was stopped when we were all working from home. So whereas normally I'd be going into work early every day, I don't start till 9 now, but I still get up like really early like I used to. So I've got a good couple of hours of completely free time before I start work every morning. So I put like my SNES Classic on, or I play Switch games because they really lend themselves to playing in that.
Yeah.
That's how I played through Xenoblade. I played through it exclusively in the morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was my morning game. It was brilliant. So I've been playing Mario 64 just in the morning, a couple of hours before work every day.
Excellent. How far through are you?
I am up to about 80 stars. I've just unlocked the door at the top of the stairs in the first room you go in. So I've actually got enough to go and finish it, but I did the whole downstairs. So you do the first Bowser fight. So every room you can get to in that first room. The first Bowser fight where you get the key. So I went downstairs where you can go to the lava bit and shifting sandlands and Hazy Maze Cave. So and then Dire Docks, everything down there. I've got everything you can get in it.
Cool.
And I've just moved upstairs.
Excellent.
See,
it sounds like you're going pretty methodically through.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. I was gonna say I've been playing Super Mario 3D All Stars myself, whereas Ad went straight to Super Mario 64. Oh, that's fair enough. I went straight to Galaxy, which is, in my opinion, much better.
Oh, absolutely. I'm saving that one. that's my Christmas Day game. I've decided, since I'm not getting a new console and there's not a great deal else I want out, so I'm really saving that one because I adore that game. The only game I rate higher than it platform-wise is Galaxy 2. It's so good.
I
So
would
I'm
say
really,
Galaxy 2
really
is
treating
better than
myself.
Galaxy as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, like, here's the thing with 3D All Stars. There was a lot of like disappointment with it being, how'd you say, very little done to it. Like Mario 64 still not in widescreen, whereas there are hacks on the PC where the code was released and it's now in widescreen proper. So there's a lot of disappointment surrounding the release because it's not been like remastered. Like you had All Stars, which did change the style of Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3. And I think that was probably more to do with trying to make it all look like universal, whereas Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3 on the NES all look completely different. Whereas on
Yeah.
All Stars, they've kind of given them a uniform style.
It's a whole different matter on All
Yeah.
Stars for the Super Nintendo when it's sprites, and you can make
Exactly.
a common sprite set that you can then paste between 3 different games.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing in itself to completely remake a game in a different engine and make
Yeah.
it, and then make sure that, say, I was gutted. I expected when they were revealing Mario 64, when you see Mario jump out the pipe, I genuinely thought it was going to burst into like an Odyssey, is going to go and then suddenly turn into like an Odyssey looking remake. I was gutted when it didn't, but then you think, not only have they got to make it look like that, they've got to then make it play the same as well. So it probably would have been the same game underneath with everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
Be a
Thing
massive thing to do.
is there's two ways of looking at this. This is being released as a kind of collection in a historical sense of the games. It's like 35th anniversary of Mario. These games are being released as a collection to show how they were, if that makes sense, more than
Yeah,
a remaster. And I think if they were remastered, all right, they would be more expensive. Um, and like say Crash Bandicoot, that was remastered, and so was Spyro. But I think the Mario games, well, with them being across 3 different generations, I think they had like different physics and stuff. So you'd have to have 3 different games with 3 different physics. You'd have to kind of recreate an engine for each game. Whereas I think with maybe Crash, they probably had to just recreate one to try and keep it
yeah,
as close
definitely.
to the original games because they were all on the one platform using similar physics and stuff. Whereas I think these would be a bit more tricky to do. So
Look what
I
they did with. Oh,
mm,
look what they did with Mario Maker. You've got the same engine with different graphics pasted over every time you switch styles. I mean, you'd imagine them having to do that for. You can't do that for. You can't take Odyssey and just make. You can't take the way Odyssey works and then just go, okay, well, there's Mario 64's levels, because the way it behaves is completely different. Like you
yeah.
said, they'd have to remake the engine for every one of them. And then you'd go, well, if they've done it for Mario 64, why is Sunshine still controlling this way? And why doesn't that work like it? It would just break everything.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing, and there's that disappointment that not enough work went into them. Uh, I'm kind of torn. I would like to have seen more done to it, but I also see this as as more of like a historical, not historical, but it's more of like a representation of how the games were, like a kind of celebration of how the games came out, so to speak. Like this is what the games were like. Let's celebrate that, and I think that's a good thing for the
Yeah.
anniversary. I think, say if they did like a really awesome remaster of say Mario 64 later down the line, I think that would be more for just for itself.
Yeah, definitely. I know what you're saying, is because it's supposed to be it's like buying a little history book, isn't it? The one thing I think is, I mean, they could have done with a few quality of life improvements on, like with Sunshine, just a little, like the blue coins. Would it really hurt when you pause it just to have a blue coin indicator that says 0 or 5. Just so you know, okay, there's 5 of them in this level. I've got them all, great. Just something like that. They don't have to change anything else. But one thing I think is sorely missing is that the actual menu system is shite. You look at like the SNES Classic, when you turn that on, how it's making all the little cool SNES noises, and it's got all the nice little graphics of Mario's running and jumping and bouncing over things, and it just feels, the menu feels special.
Yeah,
This is just icons. It really could have done with like a bit of love, like
yeah.
Mario bouncing around the screen, or just something going on.
Feels a
And
bit
also,
like cheap, like.
yeah, it really does. It feels, it doesn't feel like Nintendo made that. It just feels like
I don't know. There's something about this gen with Nintendo I feel that's lacking. Like, the games are still great, but like we were talking about Breath of the Wild with like how it's not the greatest game to play. Like Link's Awakening had issues. It's like their online is wank. It seems like the quality isn't quite as robust as it was last gen and
Don't know. I
before.
feel like the quality is there. It's just like there's a kind of spark that's not, if that makes sense. Like that kind of ineffable Nintendo thing, if you like. It's not quite the same anymore. It feels a little bit more commercial than it used to.
diluted.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Like Odyssey is fucking is to me the third best Mario game after the Galaxies.
Oh, speaking of which,
Breath of the
I
Wild
was
is
replaying that.
top
Sorry,
notch,
Pez,
but
I was just saying I was replaying that on the lead up to. I've been playing that over the last few weeks too. Yeah, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
like they still doing like really good stuff. It's just like for me, the games just don't have the same like I said, they just they don't run as well. There's issues here and there. There's visual issues. Like I'm pretty sure like Matt put a thing about like the camera angles in Mario 64 on Twitter with where the camera went underneath the game and it was all like everything went transparent. I was like, I'm pretty sure that wasn't like that in the original Mario 64. They made it worse for this collection. Or am I imagining it? But it just seems to be like the standards have dropped ever so slightly on like they like used to have a gold label to say it was quality approved. Don't get that now, and they need to bring it back. Yeah, like many games just don't run as well, or they're all like I said, their online isn't anywhere near good enough to be charging for it.
Oh no. No, I resent paying them £3 a month.
I mean,
And as well, to me, like until you said that, then I forgot I was even paying for anything. I mean, there's nothing there that adds any value to me.
I pay for it because I play Splatoon 2 on a Monday once
Guys,
every 4 weeks.
I'm
Same
gonna
with
have to
Mario
drop
Kart.
off for a couple of minutes. Apologies. I might not be able to make it back on.
Right.
All right. Cheers, folks.
Oh, see you later.
Okay,
Bye.
catch you later, Cora. Have a good one.
You too, guys. Bye.
Bye bye.
Sorry, what were we saying then?
I was saying that like I still pay for the online because there's Splatoon that we need to play on for GRcade on Monday once every 4 weeks. Mario Kart we do the same. So it does get used. Smash Brothers we did try, but it just didn't get a very good turnout. So I do play online on there, and I kind of like having the SNES and NES games with online, even though I've never actually bothered playing them. I like the fact that there's that option.
It's
But
comforting to know they're there.
like I've got a SNES which can play the SNES games that I play on there. Obviously I can't play online, but I still play my SNES games. NES I haven't got an EverDrive for, so I can't. But I don't know.
Yeah, I much prefer playing my SNES games on my SNES Classic. They feel, I mean, because it's got the real pad and stuff, they feel like I'm playing the console on there. Whereas I have tried it on the Switch's one, and I feel like I'm playing ROMs.
I'm not
I
gonna
can't
lie.
quite put my finger.
I have the NES and SNES Switch pads.
Oh, They good.
I have never used them because I don't play on the SNES and NES app.
That's one of those like, oh my God, I have to get it. Oh, cool. And it's like, you're going to use it? Not really.
Bought them. I was like, oh my God, they're back in stock. Bought them. Never used them. Like I just use my SNES. I got a SNES setup. Like literally, it's on top of my PC, and it's got like a FX Pack Pro, and it's all the games I own is on there. I just play them on my actual SNES. Well,
put
I say SNES,
my classic
Super Famicom eras, but
after I played Xenoblade, I then put Zelda on. So I played through A Link to the Past on my SNES Classic, did that start to finish and loved it. And I think I went straight back to the Switch and then played whatever else was on there. And in the run up to 3D All Stars coming out, I played a bit of is it Wargroove or Wargrove? Wargrove, I think it is, isn't it? Wargroove. Got my ass kicked on that and dropped that pretty quick. It's a great game, but God, it's hard. It gets tough really quickly.
Yeah, I only got into like
the
forest or something, and it started getting tough. I was like,
That's exactly where I got. I got to a bit where you get some dogs, and they go, "Hey, put the dogs on the mountains," and then I just got swamped and my ass kicked, and I was playing for about 45 minutes. It's like I say, I've got a couple of hours before work, so to have that time effectively wasted, it's like, I might play something else.
Yeah, no, I can get that, but it's meant to be really good, but it's meant to be very, very long. And another thing is it's cross-platform. So if you were to make a map and I was to jump on the PC version, me and you could play together, and I could kick your ass.
Yeah, dream on.
Yeah, I'm bad at strategy games.
Yeah, I'm crap at
the
them.
NES Joy-Cons are massive and have less functionality. Yeah, but they're just to play NES games, and they're the normal size of a NES pad. Also, the normal Joy-Cons are fucking tiny and awful. I hate them. I actually hate them.
Have you tried putting your NES controller on your Switch and then using the D-pad? Does that work?
I don't know. I don't even know where they are.
Because I know they do. They
with my Fire Emblem.
I wonder if you could actually use the D-pad, like a proper D-pad. Then
nice, wouldn't it?
It's gonna be bloody uncomfortable because they're all square, aren't they? But it's an idea. Get on it.
Yeah, I also got this. I got a SNES one as well. It's the thing with the NES, there was 2 NES pads. With the SNES, there was 1. It's the same with when they brought the NES Mini. There was 30 games. When they brought the SNES Mini, there was 21 or something. It's like Nintendo. I think putting a couple of extra ROMs isn't going to cost you much more money when you're charging the same price, you little bastards.
Mine's loaded up. I've got Mega Drive, 32X, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance.
Well, that's the thing. See, I've got a Nintendo 64 setup down here with a EverDrive. Same with my Mega Drive, and same with a SNES all next to me. So I had to play on like the proper old consoles. So I didn't bother doing that with my minis.
Yeah, I sold my N64 a long time ago for a stupidly cheap price, which still pisses me off every time I think about it.
I bought a Japanese N64.
Oh, cool.
The reason why I bought a Japanese one is so I could play games at 60 hertz instead of 50.
Yeah.
That's why I bought a Super Famicom as well. I think it was like 30 quid, something like that, not much.
Yeah.
I bought the most expensive console. I think was the most expensive console I rebought, because I've still got my SNES, my N64, my Mega Drive. But I bought a Super Famicom, a Japanese N64, and a modded Mega Drive. It's a Mega Drive 1. It has a switch on the back. It's a switchless modded Mega Drive. Holding the reset button when it's on, it's the power light changes. There's orange, red, and green. Each colour is for a different region between EU, Japanese, and US. And as well as having that functionality at the back, there's a little switch, which when you toggle it on, it bumps it up an extra 10 hertz.
That's really cool, isn't it?
When you're playing like Sonic, the ring count, like when you hit, no rings come out of you. Instead of slow down, you don't get none and you can carry on as normal.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that was like 40 quid. I think that was the most expensive of the consoles.
I remember when I never knew that the PAL thing was a thing. So Sonic and that for me when I had my Mega Drive, that was just the way it was. And then we
Yeah.
went on holiday to Florida, and we were in the games section in Walmart, which back then was just like holy shit, because there's so many games over there that you just didn't see over here. It was just like like oh my god, this is amazing. They had a little like a little 14-inch CRT. They had one of them had I think might have been like a PC Engine or something like that was running Chuck Rock on it, and then next to it they had Sonic playing, and it was like it was in fast forward. It's like like really really quick. What the hell's this? And like you say in the demo where he runs along and gets hit by that bug and then falls back and the rings go everywhere. It's like, why is this so fast? And it's obviously because of that, but yeah, it's such
Yeah.
a difference for
I
games.
I got a new cable for my Mega Drive recently. It's a Rad X2 or something. I can't remember the exact name, but it's a stereo cable. And with the Mega Drive One, yeah, proper stereo. You need to have a cable in the back as normal, but also another wire connected into the speaker at the front, the
Yeah,
headphone jack. So I've had to buy one like that, and it's like £10 more expensive for that wire. I've had that, and I was testing my Mega Drive the other day to see if the wire was working properly. And I put her on. I said, "Oh, look at this now," to my kids. And my eldest was standing there going, "What?" I was like playing a bit of Sonic 1. I said to one of the kids, right, reset it and hold the reset button. And they did. And they went into EU mode. And I put it, but I obviously made them change the region, then reset it, I think I did. So I started back up. And my kid said, "Why is the game so slow?" I was like,
so
that's how I had to
slower.
play the game when I was a kid. That's what happened in Europe. We were shat on.
And had to wait forever.
Yeah. Jesus
Um,
Christ. And I
the,
was that's the point actually. PlayStation announced that the PlayStation's coming out a week like in America, Japan and stuff is coming out a week before Europe. And I turned around to my missus who has no interest in stuff like that and said, I thought Europe were done being shat on. Just carried on watching stuff. She probably thought, what the fuck are you on about?
she looks up from her knitting. Yes, dear.
Probably thought,
It's yeah, God. I remember one of my mates had a Super Nintendo, and he had the adapter where it was like a region adapter where you plugged in a PAL one at the back at a 90-degree angle to, and he was always getting import stuff. And I remember him getting like Super Street Fighter 2 when that was out in America. It's like, yeah, this isn't going to be out over for 8 months and stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's just mental to think we're doing that or putting up with that. I'm going back to the you're saying about the stereo mix. I can't remember. Did you have a Mega CD as well?
I have a Mega CD upstairs, yes. It's
Have you got
in the attic.
the Mark One?
A Mark 1, yeah.
I'm just saying, when I got my one of those, because it's got the red and white phono out for connecting to a stereo, but you've got to have that little mixing cable that comes out the front of the Mega Drive, and it's got like a little hook on the side of the Mega CD to wind the cable down. It's such an unelegant solution. It's just so stupid, isn't it? Like when I
Yeah.
got my Amstrad CPC down from the loft a few years back, it had its own monitor. You plug the keyboard into the monitor and the monitor into the keyboard, and they powered each other. But the power connection was just in the middle of the monitor. It wasn't like now you'd have it all hidden around the back and it's just
Yeah.
no, fuck it, straight in the front.
Straight in front, yeah. Probably for ease more than looks, and straight in.
Not even consider.
But no, that's another thing as well. So I put it on, and obviously because it's being like upscaled, but it's being done in a way that makes it look really good. So I think it's only 720p, but basically it looks really really nice. Basically looks nice and crisp like you would on a normal TV. Doesn't have like any smoothing effect. Doesn't look blurry. Looks lovely. So I put on Sonic, and there's this blue box around it because some Mega Drive games will have that now on newer TVs. And when we changed it to European one, it was like the same box, but for some reason the top and bottom were really thick in comparison to the other box. So it's like I don't know why. I don't know why things were so bad back then. They could have fixed it. Like I think they did for some games in the end. They started working a way of doing it.
God, yeah, all
Like
the
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I think its music was actually running at full speed, but the game itself didn't. If that makes sense. Stuff like that.
mental. Yeah, thank God that's gone.
Yeah. But what's your planned play order in the Mario 3D thingy?
I'm going through 64, Sunshine, then Galaxy. Like I say, I'm saving Galaxy for Christmas just because I know how just brilliant it is, and I want something just unadulterated joy on Christmas Day
Yeah.
to play. And there doesn't seem to be anything else coming out which is going to fill that gap. So I'll take that. But yeah, just release order. I mean, I love 64, but Christ, I'm at some of the later things now, like Tall Mountain, and it's just so, for how great it is. There's some bits of it are just shite, like because it's emulating the game rather than having been rewritten. When you're stationary, unless you pull the stick perfectly back in the opposite direction slowly, he'll do a little crescent walk. So if you land on a really small platform and then try and just move the opposite direction, nope, just does a bloody great circle and walks straight off the edge of it. Like, oh, fuck. But I mean, there's been some cussing going on. Trying to
Yeah.
land on those small mushrooms, the red coins, and then slipping off the edge, or just stopping and then trying to walk back the other way, and he just walks forwards.
See, I've gone in. I was planning on playing in order of Galaxy because it's the best on there, and then
Yeah,
64, and then Sunshine. Like I would, in ways I'd like to keep best to last, but in another way, I think I'd rather play the other ones and not think, right, I'll play Sunshine first to get the worst out of the way, say,
yeah,
than fall
and
off or just not put the game back on at
yeah, and
all.
almost be playing it just for like almost like eating your vegetables before you eat your meat, isn't it? It's just like eating the crap stuff to get to if you don't really like it that much, you could just get sick of it and just think, well, I don't really feel like playing any of it now.
Yeah. Or you end up full and you're not going to eat your meat anyway.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. I like meat. Are you looking forward to any of the other things that Nintendo are doing around the 35th anniversary of Mario? Because there's that Mario Battle Royale NES game thing, which actually looks quite interesting if you ask
Yeah,
me.
doesn't it? I forgot all about that. Yeah,
I think it's supposed
yeah,
to be coming out
I'll
now,
be giving
like September.
yeah, I'll be giving that a go. Actually, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a go. I mean, I'll probably play it once and never again because I'm crap at the original Mario.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely be giving it a go. So it's a bit of a poor show, really. You think what they did for the Year of Luigi? I mean, maybe
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, then again,
rose-tinted
Luigi
looking
is
back.
better than Mario.
Yeah, I always thought so. Mario too. Got that hover jump. They
As
seem
I
to do a
say,
lot
Luigi
more
is
for
better
that.
than Red Luigi. No, that really seems interesting. The whole battle royale thing. It's like you kill an enemy and something will happen on the other person's screen. It's kind of like a Tetris 99. With that
Yeah,
battle royale where you
yeah,
do something on your screen and you target someone else and you take them out. So that you've got all that coming. I did want to get the Mario Game and Watch, but it was sold out within
yeah.
seconds.
It looks
Um,
nice, doesn't it?
it does look cool. It's a shame I couldn't get my mitts on it. The only other thing I could think of that's coming is Mario 3D World. Like, I don't really like buying remasters and stuff a lot of the time, and I don't tend to buy them. It's like occasionally I will, if depending on the game. But with that, I'm curious as to one, it's got online, so it'd be nice to play with a couple of people who I've played through other games with, like Matt, for example. I played through a couple of games with him recently. Then you have the Bowser's Fury, I think it's called, and I'm hoping that's gonna be like a significant piece of extra content.
Yeah, I
And
bucked the trend and I pre-ordered that. I bought I used those game vouchers, the two for £85 because like I said, I had some credit. I think I had something like £70 credit left. So I used it on that, and I had a few gold coins left, so I bought those vouchers. Then I pre-ordered both. Like I say, I don't go for I haven't bought Super Mario Brothers U or any of the other Wii U stuff. But this one, I was like, it is brilliant. I'm not going to deny myself a Mario game, especially as it's got what appears to be another little game in with it. What they have shown, I mean, they just showed an environment. It looks to be a almost free roaming environment. Hopefully, it's not just the one that you see in that, because there's like little cat ear gates, isn't there? Who knows what that's for? Might just be races and stuff. But yeah, I'm really hoping that's a good, solid little bit of game there.
Well, I think someone pointed out on the forum the size of the game, and I think it's more than double the size of the Wii U game. And they've said with every other game that they've ported, the game size has decreased. This is doubled in size.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Roughly. So you would think then that Bowser's Fury must be significant.
Yeah, and they wouldn't. I mean, that's got to have a physical release and the size of the cartridge, unless they make you download Bowser's Fury separately to keep the cart size down. There's no way that they're just going to, willy-nilly stick a load of data on there they don't need to be doing. So that's
Exactly.
it's all content in some way, isn't it?
Yeah. I think like the biggest thing is like music and stuff, isn't it? So maybe there's some new music to go with it as well. I really enjoyed 3D World. 3D World seems quite divisive. Like some people really like it, some people like it, and then a lot of people like it's not a 3D game because it's not all like Galaxy or Mario 64. And to be honest, Mario 64, I bounced off it. Like I think around that time I bounced off quite a few games that went 3D because I just didn't enjoy them as much as the 2D counterpart. Like even Ocarina of Time when I first played it, I was like, this is shit. And then I borrowed it off a friend then. So I didn't buy it, I played it around a friend's like, this is crap. Then I borrowed it off a friend and then I was like, okay, I'm wrong. This is fucking amazing. And then I played Majora's Mask and I was like, this is even more amazing. But I still prefer like Link to the Past to Ocarina of Time. Sorry, I prefer 2D Link to the Past to 3D Link to the Past.
Yeah, I'm my favorite game of all time is Link's Awakening.
Ooh, Link to the Past.
I absolutely love that game. I mean, I do prefer the purity of a 2D Zelda. You can get more focus in them, but what's the original point? What were we talking about?
Stuff.
We've gone Bowser's Fury and the amount of content.
I can't even remember. Graham, what was he talking about?
Help.
I hope you were taking notes. I think we were saying about how Link to the Past is better than Link's Awakening, and you agreed.
No.
My favourite Zelda is Ocarina, probably because it was my first. Says Competence.
We were talking about how people didn't like 3D World. The thing that could I really enjoyed it. I never got as far as unlocking Champions Road, but I got pretty damn close. I got to the end and had there's the space set of levels and things. I did get that far, but I just didn't get enough stuff to unlock Champions Road.
Yeah.
But one thing which would instantly improve that game for me, take the bloody timer out of it. Timers in games give me really bad anxiety. I don't feel like I can enjoy.
That's the thing they did with Odyssey now. They've removed a lot of the elements that were in previous Mario games, like the live system is different and stuff like that. So there's no dying and going back to the beginning of the level. You just go back to checkpoints, say, and you don't run out of lives. I think I think that's for the better, really, because it just saves a bit of time. Coming in says, I didn't play Link to the Past until the GBA version, which the GBA version is actually worse than the SNES version and is also more glitchy. The best thing about the GBA version is it's got 4 swords on it, which has nothing to do with Link to the Past. But what I like about it is if you complete the 4 swords on there, you can get a side quest to get the whirlwind attack in Link to the Past.
Really?
Yeah. So you just spin around for ages. Constant spinning. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's called the whirlwind attack. It's something like that, isn't it? Constant spin attack.
I've
But-
got Four Swords for the GameCube, and I've played it once, but not on my copy. I played it round a friend's house because he had 4 Game Boy Advances.
Just turned into the Zelda show. I like it.
Yeah, 4 Game Boy Advances. We all played it for about an hour, or a couple of hours. I loved it, and then I saw it for sale. I think it was via GRcade actually. Bought it. No means to play it. I've got as in I can't play it on anything. I have got Game Boy Advances. I've sold my Wii, so I can't use the GameCube thing on there. Can't play it. But that's if anyone ever gets a chance to play that. Have you ever played it?
I have played it. I have also completed it in single player.
Ooh.
And I've played it for a bit with 3 other people around of friends. We all took our own GBAs. We all sat there, and I had fun. I did get pissed off a lot of times. For some reason, they kept throwing jars on my fucking head out of everyone else's. It was always me. But yeah, it was in general. It's really good fun. Obviously, it's nowhere near as good on your own because you can't. I don't know. It's just not as good. It's made for multiplayer. It needs to be played in multiplayer. And I would love for them to make another Four Swords game. I loved the visuals in that game though.
Yeah,
It was like
really
a really
wasn't it?
amazing SNES. It was like the SNES kind of looked, but fucking so nice.
Yeah, but it had Wind Waker style effects going on, didn't it? It was really
Yeah,
cool.
it was
I don't know why that
beautiful.
game or something similar didn't come out on the Wii U. I mean, you'd think that'd be a shoe-in for it, wouldn't you? Like on the GBA, where one of you would go in a little cave and it just
Yeah,
down
no
on
one
the
could see
screen,
it.
everyone could carry on screen. Why didn't they do anything like that?
But they could do it now with a Switch with online, so like you could have your own thing. But they could do that with the
Yeah.
Wii U online, really. But I don't know. It seems like they're missing a trick with some of their IPs. Maybe they can't. Maybe they haven't got the right gimmick because they need one of them for F-Zero.
Oh God.
Give the
Don't
cars
start.
legs. There you go. There's your fucking gimmick. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna have to take off in a sec because it's
Yeah, that's fine,
dog
man.
dog food time. But in fact, I might go now. Actually, it seems like a good place to
Yeah,
stop. If that's okay. with you.
that's cool. We've been going for 2.5 hours. Yeah, but with that being said, we will hopefully be back a bit sooner, and we can like catch up on some of the other stuff we haven't talked about. Like we did talk briefly about like the PlayStation and the Xbox, but we didn't really delve into a lot of the games for the Xbox because there just wasn't time to really go into that, especially as we want to talk about a bit about each company. The only thing we didn't talk about is the fact that Adam's got to go for his 10 o'clock poo.
Yeah, I'm going early this time. Had a bit of coffee.
Thought you said you
Yeah,
had lovely English tea.
I did, but it's from earlier. It works its way through. So yeah, I mean, we got a bit distracted and chatted about stuff off topic a lot, but yeah, it's good fun.
That we have had a very important question from Graham. Will we be getting a Christmas song this year?
Oh, I've been doing a lot of music. I, funnily enough, was thinking about a Christmas song earlier and whether I'd actually be in the right mood to do it and not just come out with some aggressive, miserable thrash metal equivalent.
That'd be fine.
If the inspiration strikes, because you can't force these things, I will certainly do one. If it doesn't, it will be a slit your wrist job, so I won't do it.
Right.
I'd like to.
He would like to, but he might not. Thrash metal Christmas song sounds awesome. Ad, make it so. You fucking dug yourself a hole there, dude.
Yeah.
I'll teach you. Right.
Yeah, whoops.
That's going to be the end of the Twitchcast. Is there any more questions you would like to ask before Ad runs off for his poo? If not, then we can either end or we can play Among Us if anyone's up for it.
Also, the people that are in the chat, you are more than welcome to come on and actually chat. If you
Yeah,
feel
that would be lovely. Like, you
just
know,
dip
there's
in.
no limits. I'm excited to hear other songs at Christmas too. Your other songs. So he's expecting several songs at Christmas now. Grimace.
There will be. I'm doing some.
Wonderful. There you go.
I'm trying to get 10. 10 is my aim. I've done 5.
Shit. Gonna release an album, get Simon Cowell to publish it.
That's it. Yeah, well, you can be my first official groupie.
Okay. Sounds fun. Right, then we are going to end the Twitchcast. I think this is episode 32. We're going to title it, Shit, why haven't we done this sooner? I'm not going to call it that.
And why did we not mute the mics at the start and just chat about what we're going to do on the Twitchcast?
Yeah, well, I'll just cut that out.
No one was there anyway.
Right, I will catch you later then. I guess that Among Us is going to be skipped tonight because Cora's a meanie. And I will see you all later. Maybe we will both be back very soon with more interesting chat on various subjects. Next week is the politics chat. Me and Ad are going to be talking about... think of something political. Quick.
Brexit?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Brexit. If Cora's live, I'll raid Cora.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Brexit.
No. It's depressing enough as it is.
Oh, tell me about it.
And on that bombshell.
Yeah, on that bombshell, time to fuck off.
Right,
Bye-bye, everyone.
everybody.
Ta-da.
See you later.
Bye.